Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a nasty one. That's a tornado right there. Oh my God.
Tornadoes near Dallas. Now the threat is ongoing in parts of 5 other states tonight. Not only the strong winds at times approaching hurricane force, but also large hail, a threat for more tornadoes as we are tracking that severe weather threat. And it's all associated with a powerful coast-to-coast storm. By the time it moves out, nearly 100 million people and almost every U.S. state under some form of threat. Not just tornadoes and severe storms, but also blizzard conditions, snow and ice, and some of that snow possibly measured in feet. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, live with you tonight until 12 midnight Central Time, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern, tracking that storm threat and the ongoing blizzard conditions. Let's get the very latest with this gentleman right here, storm specialist Carl Parker, with the ongoing severe and tornado threat. Carl, these tornado warnings have been popping almost non-stop in the past hour.
Yeah, it's been fast and furious for the last hour, and we're still getting quite a few warnings right now. Let's take a look at the warning that has just come out along the Sabine River, that in eastern parts of Texas and coming towards the Sabine River. Jasper and Newton counties under warning until 9:30. Looking at the circulation near Browndell right now and moving towards the east-northeast. Let's get a sense of the vector here. It actually looks like it's pretty solidly northeast. So I'm just going to draw that a little more in this direction, and that would be coming towards the Fairmount area. So heads up, possible tornado coming your way in Fairmount. And then farther off to the east here, ongoing tornado warning in Grant and LaSalle parishes until 9 p.m. We've been watching a rotating storm here for quite some time now. It is broader, and looks like they're allowing that warning to go ahead and expire, and that's not a surprise because this is really broadened out considerably. But farther north, a very serious storm here, Morehouse and West Carroll parishes under warning until 9:30. Now, this is a pretty good long ways from the radar. That's why these bins are so much larger. You see each of these little blocks is much larger. They expand as you get farther away from the radar, and you're also shooting up higher in the storm. But what we're seeing higher up in the storm is a very robust area of circulation, very strong circulation there that is moving off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. And so that is going to be coming towards Forest, towards Oak Grove as well, and also towards Chickasaw. So in all of those areas, heads up, you've got a rapidly rotating storm, at least in the mid-levels of the storm coming your way. Let's look and see if there's some debris. Now, that's interesting. Again, we're looking way up in the storm, but there are some pixels there indicating that there may be some debris. So certainly I'd be very concerned about that storm as it comes towards the Forest and Oak Grove areas. Then farther north, we've got a line of storms here coming through the Farmerville area. We did get a report of some damage in Farmerville, and in fact, I'm going to go back several frames here. Right in there, you can see the circulation as it was coming across Farmerville. Apparently, there's been some damage to mobile homes in that area. Unfortunately, EMS is on the scene there. So what's going on is we've got a very powerful storm now moving through the middle of the country. Still some really strong wind in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and very strong wind coming out of the southwest at about 5,000 feet up. So right in there, that's what we call the low-level jet, and you can see how that's opposing the surface flow, which is coming out of the southeast. So because of that change in wind direction with height from the surface up to 5,000 feet, what that does is it creates a spin in the atmosphere, and that spin then gets into storms as they are developing, provided that there is enough instability. And there absolutely is enough instability. You can see quite a bit of warm and humid air coming off the Gulf of Mexico here, and that area of yellow and orange, that indicates where you've got a profile that is favorable for the development of storms. And we expect that that is going to continue as we go through the night tonight. And I want to show you here what the model is showing us. If you look carefully at the model, you see a little bit of this structure. Looks a little bit like that, kind of like a kidney bean. That's the model indicating that we're going to continue to see rotating storms here in Louisiana and coming into Mississippi deep into this evening, because that shear is still going to be in place even into the overnight tonight. Still seeing some of that supercell structure showing up with the instability in place. Even into early tomorrow morning, there could be some additional tornado warnings. So we expect that it is going to be a very long night in parts of the deep south and mid-south. south. And the Weather Channel's national correspondent Justin Michaels is in Monroe, Louisiana tonight. And Justin, tornado warnings all around you, to the north, to the east, to the south. It's been quite an active period there in that part of Louisiana.
Well, and also, Carl, we're watching on the radars here that nasty line of storms coming at us from the west. And it's amazing to see what we're seeing in the atmosphere right now from our ground level here. So let me give you a little bit of a tour. Taking a look at the American flag over there outside of the Ike Hamilton Expo Center here in West Monroe, Louisiana. And you can see it's blowing this way. Well, I can tell you that direction is south, so it's a southerly wind pushing all this off to the north. And if we look at the clouds in the sky, look how they are screaming through the sky right now. You can see a little collection of them right here, these low-level clouds coming from the south to the north. The exact direction they should be going in if you take a look at the radar and how the system is moving and getting closer and closer and closer to us, coming from the west, but also pushing off to the north. So we see it and we know it's coming, and we keep seeing the lightning off to the west as well. But right now, a little bit of calmness, that little bit of calm before the storm, if you will, because we know that all that energy is coming at us, and it's going to be pretty intense when it finally gets here. Again, I've said it multiple times tonight. I really don't feel I can say it enough. If you're just tuning into us on the Weather Channel, remember that tornado plan that you practice with the kids a couple times a year, typically earlier in the year. Well, this being kind of the second severe season of the year, make sure you are getting ready to enact that plan if you need to, that the kids know before they might go to sleep tonight that, hey, guys, we might wake you up tonight to get to our safe place. Just be ready to do that, because this is those nights that you practice for. Make sure your warnings are turned on your phone. Make sure the volume is turned up. Make sure you know what you're going to do, because even though it's very calm right now, we know that can change very quickly and quite dramatically, and hopefully not so dangerously. We know we have those warnings, tornado warnings all over the place right now. The tornado watch is in place here, Carl, through 10 o'clock tonight. And Carl, we know which way the storm is moving because we see that watch has been extended to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and into Mississippi, well off to our east. So it's going to be quite a long night. Let's hope we all wake up tomorrow morning and everything seems to be intact. But I know that there are points around the area here in Louisiana that have had tornado damage tonight. Let's hope that stays to a minimum and that people stay safe. Carl, into you.
Yeah, that's right. We are getting reports now of some pretty serious damage in the Farmerville area, not terribly far from where you are. Justin, thank you so much. And again, tonight looking at a serious threat that will continue through the overnight, but also into tomorrow as well. And take a look at some video from a tornado earlier this evening. Chris, just amazing here. We talked about the fact that, sometimes tornadoes get so large, it's almost a sort of a melding of the wall cloud and the tornado, just a really massive area of spin showing up in this video here.
And Carl, what I think is really telling is you look at the debris here, and there's no way that's part of a tree, right? The way it is flipping around, that is a structure. That is a constructed object there, and off to the left as well. Some form of structures, debris being lofted up into the air. And sometimes it's hard to get a sense of scale. That could be parts of someone's roof or part of a wall of a building, because you look at the trees and you get a sense here in northwest Louisiana. Four Forks is to the southwest of Shreveport here in the northern part of the state of Louisiana. And you look at the trees and you get a sense of how big some of these trees are in Louisiana, and then you realize just how large this actually could be, Carl.
Yeah, one thing that I think about is that, if you've got a tornado warning and you're thinking about, trying to go outside and see what you can see, well, sometimes you might be able to see a pretty well-defined tornado structure, something that seems, more familiar. But, if you were not far from this with a lot of tree cover around and you were looking at it in the sky, you might not even really realize what it is that you're looking at. It might just look like a black wall essentially coming towards you with a lot of stuff in the air. And you mentioned that stuff, and that stuff is an important clue, because when you see debris in the air like that, that's a really important clue that there's a tornado nearby.
And another great point, Carl, is being above the tree line. As you said, it's also sometimes when you're dealing with different shades of white and gray,
Yes.
it's hard to get a sense of depth. If you've ever driven in North Dakota while it's snowing, right,
Yeah.
and the wind's blowing, it's hard to make sense of what's left, what's right, what's up, down, that kind of a thing. So you might not even realize it's a wall of clouds, right?
Yeah.
You might not even feel vertical. It might just feel like more distant or very close low clouds.
Yeah, absolutely. And we often talk about the fact that the South in particular has a very high, what is called societal vulnerability to tornadoes. Now, a lot of that has to do with geography. It has to do with the fact that they're so close to the Gulf of Mexico. There's a lot of moisture in the air. So, you know, the cloud bases tend to be very low. There tends to be all kinds of moisture wrapped into the tornado. So they're often not as well defined as they are in the plains. And there's a lot of tree cover in the South as well. All of those things increasing the societal vulnerability in the South. Here you're seeing some of the damage from that storm Chris mentioned just moments ago. You could very clearly tell that was structural damage. And Chris, there's the evidence of that. You can see obviously here that there's been some pretty serious damage as a result of that tornado.
Yeah, in Caddo Parish here, and we want to get an update right now from there. Casey Jones from the parish's sheriff office joining us right now. And what can you tell us? What's the latest there, as we're just looking at some very dramatic video of what appeared to be a tornado in progress?
Yes, sir. We did have a tornado touchdown close to 5 o'clock this evening. We actually got dispatched out 1649 hours. We had deputies on the ground right now. We're making search efforts for 2 people who are missing. We've had one reported person been transported to a local hospital with unknown injury. And we currently have several different law enforcement agencies, fire department personnel, and K9 search teams looking for 2 individuals.
Can you give us a sense of the area impacted? Because the tornado, the video that we're looking at looks very large, and we do have some video of some of the damage afterward that does seem extensive. How big of an area are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're talking about it's a little community in southwest Caddo Parish, right off of Four Forks Road and Con Road, and we're talking 5 to 6 streets within this little area here. But yes, it has reported to be extensive damage, and I'm not known to the extent of any structural damages or how many homes have been damaged or even completely destroyed, as we're making our efforts to make contact with all the residents of this area and check on their welfare while having other teams search for the missing people.
So a couple questions here. How does you say you're checking on people? Are you basically just kind of driving around neighborhoods to see which neighborhoods have had damage or haven't had damage? Is that kind of how that works?
Well, any of the area that's been reported to us that has received any damage, any 911 calls or any dispatch calls through our non-emergency line, then we'll send deputies to that area to check on the area in question.
Okay, then regarding the 2 people that are missing, sometimes we hear that missing just means unaccounted for. Other times, maybe someone was known to be in a home that's no longer there. Do you know the status or the instance in which these 2 individuals are missing?
My understanding is that they were in the home at the time of the storm. Now, whether they left beforehand and didn't notify anybody is unknown at this time. So, yes, they're unaccounted for, and we're just trying to make every effort to locate them.
But they were around the time of the storm or the warning. That they were known to be in the storm. It's just in the home. It's just not known if they were in it as the storm went by. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, is there anything else we need to know about, or that you want to make sure you get out to people that may be watching or listening right now?
Just anybody that lives in this area here. If you have any concerns or if you have any knowledge of any missing persons that come from the Pecan Farms area, please reach out to the Caddo Sheriff's Office, 318-675-2170. With that information, it may help us locate the business.
Okay, Casey Jones with the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. We appreciate your time here. We know it is a tough time, of course, and still a lot of unknowns this evening after a tornado goes through. We want to get back right now to Storm Specialist Carl Parker. Carl, I'm still seeing here on our breaking weather alert system a series of tornado warnings and some new ones coming in as well.
Yeah, new one just in for Mississippi now, as well as Arkansas. We'll get into that in just a second. Let's take a look at the ongoing warning that is in place here in the eastern part of Texas, and that is for Newton County. Not seeing nearly the same evidence of rotation in that storm, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Then much farther northeast, this is up into northeastern Louisiana, Morehouse, West Carroll parishes under warning. Rotation showing up right there. Looking at the vector here, it looks like it's pretty much northeast, and so tracking that forward, that's going to be coming up towards the Oak Grove area, so heads up there, possible tornado coming your way. And then farther north, this is right along the Mississippi River, Bolivar, Chico, and Washington counties under warning here. And taking a look, sorry about that, let's go back to that. Taking a look at the velocity data, we see rotation near Eudora right now and moving to the northeast. So that is going to be coming towards Eudora and then Swiftwater and Greenville. And we'll have much more on all of this coming right up.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Do you know about its camera? Like the way it fixes blurry photos, magically erases annoying distractions, and even fixes photos taken with your old phone. Now that you know all that, did you know switching has never been easier? Start fixing with Pixel, the only phone engineered by Google. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
After 15 years of the Share the Love event, Subaru and our retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. In fact, Subaru is the largest corporate donor to the ASPCA and the National Park Foundation, and the largest automotive donor to Meals on Wheels and Make-A-Wish. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Your heart is the beat of life. If you have heart failure, entrust your heart to Entresto, a medicine specifically made for heart failure. Entresto is the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And just imagine where a healthier heart could take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Stop. You're in.
Oh, cool. Yep, even easier than that. What's in your wallet?
Meet Leon the Third, Leon the Second, and Leon the First of them all. 3 generations who all bank differently with Chase. Leon's saving up for his first set of wheels. Nice try.
Really?
This Leon's paying for his paint job on the spot. And this Leon, as a Chase private client, he's in the south of France taking out cash with no ATM fees. That's because this family of Leons has Chase.
Actually, it's Leon.
Ooh la la. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited. But instead of period pads, she brought Poise Ultra Thin, so she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
Welcome home.
I wasn't expecting this.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Relapsing MS isn't the only thing I have going on. That's why my doctor and I chose Kesimpta. Kesimpta is different. It's the only B-cell treatment for RMS I can take at home once a month. Kesimpta was proven superior at reducing the rate of relapses, active lesions, and slowing disability progression versus Aubagio. For me, a once-monthly treatment just works for my schedule.
Don't take Keachi if you have hepatitis B, and tell your doctor if you have had it, as it could come back. Keachi can cause serious side effects, including infections. While no cases of PML were reported in RMS clinical trials, it could happen. Tell your doctor if you had or plan to have vaccines, or if you are or plan to become pregnant. Keachi may cause a decrease in some types of antibodies. The most common side effects are upper respiratory tract infection, headache, and injection reactions.
When I'm ready, I spend less than 1 minute a month taking Keachi. How I spend the rest of my time is up to me.
Ask your doctor about treating RMS with Keachi.
Currently in our area, 34 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 29, winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, generally sunny, high 39, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds, low 32, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
First thing that morning, I woke up and saw that things were not good.
Flash flood emergency just outside of Nashville.
Get inside! Run!
Within seconds, it was basically on top of us.
You see it take down the power lines, and all of that debris comes rushing across the highway.
And I threw my arms up like this, hit the side of the house, and then next you know, I'm under the water.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
Welcome back to our coverage of severe weather. We are still looking at some very serious storms tonight in parts of Louisiana and also in Mississippi. Let's show you the latest on these warnings. New warning has just come out affecting parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. So that's East Carroll, West Carroll parishes, Chicot, Issaquena, Washington counties under warning until 10:15. And we're looking at a circulation that is now west of 65. So right in this area here is where we're seeing that circulation. It's about ready to cross the Mississippi River and moving to the northeast rapidly, about 50 miles per hour. So that'll be coming towards Oak Grove in the next minute or so here. Got a couple of minutes there in Oak Grove to get to your safe place. Then beyond that, moving towards Terry, maybe Kilbourne as well, and then coming up towards Addy and Irwin. So a lot of rotation showing up in this storm. A very dangerous storm, could well be a tornado there. Then farther north, another warning for Bolivar, Chicot, and Washington counties. Looks like we got a new one just to the west as well. Ashley and Chicot counties under warning. So let's take a look at both of those, show you the velocity data. So first of all, here near Crosset, we're seeing a circulation showing up right about there. And that is getting ready to cross 425 as it moves northeast, coming down 82 as well. On that track, moving towards Hamburg and Mist and Portland and Jerome. Then we're looking at the cell just to the east of that is also under warning here. That is near Eudora. There are actually a couple of areas of spin. There's one there, and there's another one right in there. So we can track both of those forward. First of all, the one to the south, as that moves northeast, that's going to be coming towards Eminence. And actually, let me move back a couple of frames, try to get a sense of the vector. It looks like it could be a little bit too north. So I'm going to redraw that. So that's going to be coming towards Avon and Eminence and Swiftwater. Then we've got the one to the north, and that is going to be moving up towards Leland and Napanee, and also coming towards Busey and Shaw. So in all of those areas, possible tornadoes coming your way. Heads up on that. And we have seen tornadoes with damage already. A report here from Farmerville of multiple mobile homes destroyed on Camp Road, and also power lines down and trees down. So that was just within the last hour. Very serious storms here tonight. Please take these warnings very seriously. Well, we want to get out now to our Justin Michaels. He's been reporting on the storms in Monroe, and Justin looks fairly quiet there right now, but an ongoing threat there in northern Louisiana.
Well, you know what, Carl? We keep watching that line of storms off to our west, and every time I check, they get a little closer and a little closer, and we know eventually we're going to be in that. And it is a very intense line of storms. I know, Carl, you've been tracking it, and it's where all the warnings are setting up right along that thing. Well, that's coming at us. Now, we haven't had a warning over us right now in Monroe or West Monroe, but we have had them around us, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. They've been all over the place. It's kind of eerie right now. We're at one of those very calm spots again. You can see how lightly the flags are blowing here. Sometimes they drop completely and they just lay there, just hang off the poles. So we're at a little bit of a calm spot, no rain at all. And we just do know that 10 miles that way, that is due west, there's a really nasty line, and that is what we're concerned about, the last blows of this coming through here. The tornado watch is in effect through 10 o'clock tonight here in Monroe and West Monroe and this entire area. And then when we look further to the east of where we are, to places like Vicksburg, the warning is extended all the way through 2 o'clock tomorrow morning local time. So it's a dangerous night. It's a night where we have seen tornadoes on the ground. We know that homes have been destroyed. We know the buildings have been destroyed in different parts of Louisiana. And we know that this storm is not going away anytime soon. That line and that training is going to continue all the way through the night and eventually getting far southeast of where we are, Carl, talking places like maybe Baton Rouge or into New Orleans tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a long overnight for this part of the country. Carl, into you.
Hey, so Justin, I was just looking at the radar here and the lightning as well. Looks like there is a lot of lightning to your west and to your north. Right. I'm wondering if you've got a clear view out to the west and north right now.
Well, yeah, Carl. In fact, right now, Austin Anderson behind the lens. In fact, there's a little bit of lightning right there. Yes, we're pointing directly to the west, and we have seen quite a bit of lightning, but it has been quiet for maybe the last 15 or so minutes. So I know it's coming. It's just it's the proverbial calm before the storm. In fact, Carl, take a look right now. Again, like I said, sometimes those flags just droop, and they're not doing really much of anything right now. And this is exactly what happened before that. Oh, there's some more lightning right there. Exactly what happened before that really intense bout of rain we had about an hour ago came through. It just got dead calm. I don't feel a breeze at all. You can see the flags are very lightly blowing. So it's coming, Carl. We know it's coming, and our safe place is identified. If we have to go to it, we will. Carl, into you.
Well, Justin, the good news is it looks like a mostly linear system that's coming your way, so it's probably mostly going to be really strong wind, but certainly there could be an embedded circulation within that. And we do have now several ongoing tornado warnings in parts of northeastern Louisiana, including this one into Mississippi for East Carroll, Chico, Issaquena, Washington, and we'll have more on that coming up in a moment.
Chevy Silverado factory lifted trucks. Where will they take you? Silverado ZR2, Trail Boss, and Custom Trail Boss. Because adventure is everywhere.
Don't get an EV for the E. Get it because it pins you to your seat and takes your breath away. Nissan EVs aren't just electric, they electrify you.
Take it to the future.
The tower cam for hey, folks, we seem to have a visitor. It looks like
you paid too much for your glasses.
Oh.
Anyone who isn't shopping at America's Best, where 2 pairs and a free exam start at just $79.95. Book an exam today.
Dad, tomorrow, can we go to the playground?
All right, we're headed to the playground.
Yeah, we're going to the playground.
Have fun.
We're coming. Okay. I'll see you later. I'm headed to the playground.
Wait for me. Yeah, just like that.
I've got one more. You think I've never been to the playground?
Shop Best Buy and experience the magic of giving the perfect gift.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Contestants ready? Go!
Oh my goodness.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The refrigerator is Greg's happy place.
My kids eat, but I finally figured it out.
We can get all that we need and then a little bit more at Walmart.
Uh-oh. Now this is going to be...
When you serve a boar's head sweet slice uncured ham, something magical happens. Expertly smoked, richly glazed, and crafted for carving, our sweet slice uncured ham is the perfect centerpiece for every celebration. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
This holiday season, WeatherTech offers a variety of amazing gifts for everyone. Laser-measured floor liners and cargo liners that fit vehicles perfectly. The cup foam to secure phones in any cup holder. And the new cup coffee when you're on the go. The pet feeding system to feed pets safely. Or wow them with a gift card and let them choose. Order these American-made products the easy way at WeatherTech.com. And happy holidays.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
Was the fourth night of break. No one wanted to cook. Alone KFC was all that it took. Oh, that magical bucket. It's second to none. With chicken and sides and sauces, what fun. Kentucky Fried Options, too many to rhyme. If we listed them all, we'd run out of...
Tornado! It's going back up.
Right here, right now on the Weather Channel, a look at what we have been tracking throughout the day, now into the nighttime hours. Tornadoes across the south, from Texas to Louisiana, into Arkansas, now into Mississippi. This, the scene, but now under the cover of darkness, even more dangerous. We are live until 12 midnight Central Time, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, covering this ongoing tornado and severe weather threat associated with a major winter storm. So along with the severe weather threat, also the potential for more blizzard conditions across parts of the plains. And the weather is expected to remain rather dangerous in terms of the snowy weather that we're watching to the north and the severe weather to the south. So we want to begin right there with the severe weather and storm specialist Carl Parker, who's been tracking it here tonight all night. And things really, after a little bit of a break, really got busy since we've been on now, Carl, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's right. And we did get a report of some very serious damage in Farmerville in northern Louisiana. So we are definitely getting really serious storms tonight. Right now, there are several warnings in effect right along the Mississippi River, parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. First of all, East Carroll, West Carroll parishes, Chicot, Issaquena, Washington counties under warning. Looking at a circulation right there, that area of red and green, about ready to cross the Mississippi River, moving very rapidly to the northeast, about 50 miles per hour. That's going to be coming towards Chickasaw, as well as into Addy and Irwin and Sago as well. So possible tornado coming your way in those areas. Then farther north, Bolivar, Chicot, Washington counties under warning until 10:15. We've actually been watching a couple of areas of circulation within this. They're both rather broad right now, but they are definitely there and moving towards the northeast. So the first one coming up towards Leland and Choctaw. The second one actually closer to Leland and moving towards Dunleith and moving towards Shaw as well. Then farther west, another tornado warning in effect for Ashley and Chicot counties until 10:15. That coming towards the Montrose area. Unfortunately, we're not getting as good of a look at it here. We're in an area that is called the range folding. It's sort of at the edge of the workable range of the Doppler radar, but we can see some evidence evidence of the rotation there, that coming towards the Mist area, towards Montrose, Jerome, and Hudspeth as well. So in all of those spots, please be aware, possible tornadoes coming your way. The tornado watches, by the way, going until 10 o'clock into western parts of Louisiana, East Texas, and going until 2 o'clock in the morning into eastern parts of Louisiana, western Mississippi, and also southeastern Arkansas. So this threat is going to continue for quite some time tonight. Chris, over to you.
All right, Carl, right now what we want to do is take a closer look at the timing, because this happening right now, of course, it's dark. And continuing during the overnight hours, it's really important to get an idea of when you might get some alerts here. Whether you're in South Louisiana, this is a live look at New Orleans, the French Quarter on the left, Jackson, Mississippi on the right, Mobile, Alabama, and in Birmingham. Now, a lot of these areas, it's going to be a tomorrow threat, but want to get you caught up right now on the timing of what we are seeing. So the storms that are firing and flaring up right now across Louisiana, Arkansas, and now into Mississippi, generally in the northern part or even now parts of the central portion of Louisiana, here into Mississippi, and now starting to get out of Arkansas, but that threat still does remain. We're jumping ahead now to tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock. This is Central Time, of course, Lake Charles. It's possible you could have some strong storms. And even here, the high-resolution future radar is indicating some supercell thunderstorms. You get kind of that appendage when you look at them, like right in here, even these right here would indicate a possible rotating thunderstorm here embedded in with what is kind of a semi-line. And then as this goes through the day, here's now 7 o'clock in the morning. Similar story for some of these storms that may be coming on shore or ongoing here south of Jackson or embedded within a bigger mess of a line that's going through Mississippi. Also, as the storms are kind of continuing, you see how they're moving like this. The storms may be coming at you from the southwest or south, but the overall line is moving in this direction. So there could also be a very heavy rain and a flood threat associated with this. And then by 4 o'clock, daytime heating, adding maybe a little extra punch here, and still an ongoing severe weather threat. Could see more potential severe and supercell thunderstorms. That tornado threat does remain into and through the day tomorrow. More details on this coming up.
Oh, hey, it's the Donovans. You know, legend has it, the Donovans had a barbecue that fed half a town.
You know what I heard? They drove cross country just to walk their dog.
Apparently, they climbed a mountain to save some wild horses. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Toyota, let's go places.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen, girl.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Okay, everyone, our mission is complete balanced nutrition. Together, we support immune function, supply fuel for immune cells, and sustain tissue health.
Ensure with 25 vitamins and minerals, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
If Philly Garcia listened to those who rejected him, he never would have made a name for himself, lining up some of the biggest names in pro sports. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
Why are 93% of Sleep Number sleepers satisfied with their bed? Maybe it's because you can gently raise your partner's head to help relieve snoring. So you can both stay comfortable all night. Save $1,000 on a most popular Sleep Number 360 smart bed, only for a limited time.
This year, become part of a family that celebrates the holidays a little differently. Jeep, there's only one.
During the Jeep Big Finish event, get $1,000 bonus cash plus no monthly payments for 90 days on these Jeep Grand Cherokee models. Get ready for winter and welcome home your new Grand Cherokee today.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites and hot wings have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
95% of Uber Eats orders are on time.
But occasionally, something unpredictable happens. And if your eats ever get stuck,
Hello!
we'll make it right with 3 months of $0 delivery fee.
At Walmart, save on thousands of gifts for everyone on your list. The savings are here all month long. Plus, get delivery on your gifts in as fast as 1 hour, right up to Christmas Eve. Shop Walmart online or in-store today.
Dude, you coming?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max gels with more concentrated power. Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop Fizz Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also tried for fast sinus and pain relief.
Oh, hey there, darling, let me count on you. The road is long and I'm scared what I might find. I'll be safe with you by my side. Ain't nothing out there can take it stride. I know. You hold me up so I can fly.
Good evening. You're watching the Weather Channel's extended coverage of the severe threat in the South. I'm Justin Michaels, live for you in West Monroe, Louisiana. We are very, very close to part of the system that's just off to our west. In fact, less than 5 miles. From my estimates, it's about 3.5 miles that way. We keep seeing big flashes of lightning, and I know it seems so calm right now. Like, Justin, what are you talking about? There's nothing. Well, if you could see through the darkness, you would see a very, very nasty line of weather. And what it's going to do when it gets over us is continue to push off to the northeast. And it's going to be over us for quite a while. In fact, if you look at the radar, we're talking about, just to speak in layman terms here, lots of red and lots of lightning on the radar. In fact, it's beginning to rain a little bit right now. And that's just the beginning of what's going to be a pretty tumultuous time here in West Monroe and in Monroe, Louisiana, and pushing off to the northeast. As this is going to stick over us for a bit of time. The good news is any of the tornado watches, or any of the tornado warnings rather, we've seen in the area have not impacted us here. They've been to our north, to our east, to our west, to our south, but not here in Monroe and West Monroe. That is very good news for the folks who live here. However, with this same system, we do know that tornadoes have touched down tonight, and there have been destroyed homes. So far, we're keeping track of any injuries, deaths. We don't have any of those on the record so far. Let's hope it stays that way as this goes through the night. But we have seen debris clouds. We've seen, debris in tornadoes going across communities. So let's hope that tomorrow morning we're all waking up and there are no injuries and there are no deaths associated with this storm, Carl. And Carl, I have to believe this thing has got to be quite literally on our doorsteps off to the west. Austin Anderson behind the lens, Carl, looking right out there. There's a little bit of lightning right there. I felt just a little bit of rain so far. It's amazing when you look at the radar, Carl, to know we're so close to what is coming at us. But right now it is really, really calm.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? That's going to change pretty radically here, probably in the next few minutes. I suspect that if we come back to you in about 10 minutes, it's going to be a whole different situation there in Monroe. Yeah. But, right. At least there are no warnings along the line there. Mainly the primary concern is going to be a lot of heavy rain and quite a bit of lightning coming into Monroe. There's a look at it right there. That is the current picture in the Monroe area. I want to take you farther northeast up into far northeastern Louisiana and western Mississippi. That is East Carroll, West Carroll parishes, and Chicot and Issaquena and Washington counties under warning here for a possible tornado. So we're looking at a circulation sitting right about in there, and that is moving off to the northeast, getting ready to cross the Mississippi River, and so that will come into Gassaway, also into Chatham as well, moving towards Hollandale eventually, as well as that moves off towards the northeast. Then farther north, this is now just east of the Mississippi, Bolivar and Washington counties under warning. We've got a couple of areas of circulation, one right there, and then another very broad one right in there. So tracking the one that is farther southwest, moving to the northeast. That's going to be coming up towards Leland and Helm and Fraser, and then tracking that broader area. That'll be moving up towards Shaw and also into Halstead. We'll see if they decide to continue the warning, but again, that's very broad at this time. And then farther west, this is in southeastern Arkansas. Ashley and Chicot counties under warning until 10:15, and we're looking at a broad circulation right there near Montrose, so heads up a possible tornado coming your way. Unfortunately, we're not getting a really good look at the storm because we're on the edge of the radars here. So you see Montrose, Boydell, Ashton also all possibly in the path of this tornado here as that moves to the northeast. But again, I mentioned the radars, and you see we're right on the edge of the radar coming out of Jackson and right on the edge of the radar coming out of Little Rock. And so both of those radars indicating that there is circulation there, but we're just not getting a really good look at it. And we're also looking very far up into the atmosphere. I do want to show you the situation with the tornado watches right now. And there is now an extension tornado watch going until 4 o'clock in the morning, and that does include Lake Charles as well as much of southern Louisiana, a little bit of southeast Texas as well. And so that gives you a sense of just how long we expect this threat to continue. 4 o'clock in the morning there for southern Louisiana. Warning watches also in Mississippi going until 2 o'clock in the morning. And Chris, quite a bit of activity earlier today, and we saw some amazing video of tornadoes today.
Yeah, we did. And unfortunately, last we heard as we look at some video right here, Carl, in Four Forks, Louisiana, in the northwest part of the state, what appears to be a large tornado in progress with a lot of debris going in the air. We spoke with the sheriff's office there in that parish, in Caddo Parish, and earlier today, this was about 5 o'clock, he said, here Central Time. Still 2 people missing, the last we heard, and unaccounted for there. And when you look at this, you really got to hope for the best, that they can find or at least locate or identify the 2 people that are missing, and hopefully that they are okay. One person was sent to the hospital here. Again, extensive damage here from what appeared to be a very large tornado with a lot of debris, and the storm's still ongoing. The big difference now, it is dark. Much of a concern when people are trying to sleep, maybe missing warnings. It's important to be able to be woken up by tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings, and confirming visually is a lot more difficult at night as well. And it has already been a destructive day in some areas. So again, here you can see some of the reports, and over into the Dallas-Fort Worth area and the north central part here in Union County, also some damage being reported, even multiple mobile homes destroyed in some areas. The latest on the warnings coming up.
Got the rings?
Hello? You guys don't look that bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
For COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri. Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri.
Dude, you coming?
Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop is Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and flu relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast cough relief.
Stouffer's makes you happy full.
Kids, dinner!
With 2 times the meat and 3 kinds of cheese, you can't be anything but happy full. Stouffer's.
I can't. My toes. How much further?
Turns out, it is hard walking a mile in someone else's shoes.
And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. I can't. I gotta go. But it's straight back.
No.
For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, make the right call and go with the General.
For real?
I just need new laces.
At Walmart, save on thousands of gifts for everyone on your list. The savings are here all month long. Plus, get delivery on your gifts in as fast as 1 hour, right up to Christmas Eve. Shop Walmart online or in-store today.
So you guys have been in business like a really long time.
That's right. And we've been offering one-size-fits-all solutions the whole time.
The whole time.
You're just gonna have to accept it.
Yeah, accept it.
No, you don't. At Spectrum Enterprise, we design solutions around your needs for success on your terms. Because we believe technology only works if it works for you. So go ahead. Be unreasonable.
The holidays are here, and your list is a mile long. But whether it's something festive for Mom's new place in Phoenix, something unique for your equally unique Aunt Sil and Uncle Phil, or something, literally anything, for your daughter's trombone teacher, ProFlowers helps you do the holidays your way.
I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Currently in our area, 34 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 29, winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, generally sunny, high 39, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds, low 32, winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our coverage of severe weather. We are following an ongoing tornado threat and a couple of tornado warnings to tell you about right now, right along the Mississippi River in parts of Arkansas and also in Mississippi. First of all, in Mississippi, you've got a warning in effect for Bolivar and Washington counties going until 10:15 Central Time. Here we're seeing a pretty broad area of rotation right in there. Now, there is something more interesting right there. There is not now a tornado warning on that. We'll see how that evolves in the next few minutes, but you can see there certainly is some indication of wind going away from the radar and toward the radar there near Shaw, so that's going to be something we'll need to keep an eye on. Then farther west, looking at a tornado warning for Ashley and Chico counties in Arkansas near the Montrose area. This is right on the edge of the radar there in Montrose. Pretty robust circulation now near Montrose and moving northeast. In fact, I'm going to go back a couple of frames, see if we've got a pretty good sense of the vector. That appears to be it. So that'll be coming towards Boydell as well as Bowman and moving towards Dewey as well. Heads up there, possible tornado coming your way in those areas. And I also want to tell you about the new tornado watches that are out. They're now going until 4 o'clock in the morning. So we expect that this threat is going to continue for quite some time here. So this one to the south includes Lake Charles, also into the Beaumont area on either side of I-10 there. Then you've got the watch until 4 o'clock in the morning along the 49 corridor in Alexandria. So a lot of the areas that have seen tornado warnings already this evening are going to be in for a long night potentially. And then farther north, got a watch in effect here until 2 o'clock in the morning along the Mississippi River, that up into the Greenville area and west of Jackson, Mississippi. And when we look at the future radar here, what we see is these areas of individual cells. That's what we're really concerned about. If you notice right in there, you see those individual cells that have this sort of a kidney bean shape like that. That's the model indicating that there are going to be some supercells that are developing in all of these areas areas, showing us that there's plenty of wind shear, plenty of low-level wind shear in place, and plenty of instability indicated by that yellow and orange color. That's the fuel for these storms. There's going to be no shortage of that in Louisiana and Mississippi tonight. Look at that, 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, we see that shape there, and we see it there, and we see it there. So, it may not happen exactly like that. This is not meant to show you the precise location of these storms, but rather to show you the idea that in these areas, those conditions exist. You've got enough instability, you've got enough shear, you've got enough of all the ingredients coming together to give you these rotating storms. And then even in the early morning hours, we still see some hint of that kind of structure in parts of southern Mississippi and Louisiana. So it's certainly going to be a very tough night tonight, and make sure you have a way to be notified if you're going to go to bed. Keep your phone on by your bed so it'll wake you up, and we're going to continue our coverage through the night, so we will be with you as necessary. Chris, over to you.
Blizzard conditions ongoing, the winter side of this major cross-country storm that is helping to produce the severe weather that we are currently tracking in the south, also producing this. Winds around tropical storm force here in Cheyenne with reduced visibilities, blowing snow, falling snow at times, winds gusting stronger than 50 miles an hour. I want to take a live look right now at some of the conditions. And here, getting a break from the falling snow in Sheridan, Wyoming. The wind still around 22, but evidence of recent blowing snow as the snow goes all the way up to the buildings and under the overhangs. So other spots not faring as well here at the moment with some very reduced visibilities. Let's take a look at this overall storm right now, and you get a sense of what we're seeing and what we're looking at. Big area of low pressure and spinning around it, tightly wound, strong winds, and heavy snow at times, really reducing the visibilities. With that, blizzard warning still in effect, areas in pink here. In some cases, this goes through Thursday, and the snowfall, as the storm moves through, goes all the way through Friday night. And again, this is the snowy side. We want to get back to the severe side with Justin Michaels in Monroe, Louisiana. Justin?
Sure, I'll tell you what, Chris, we're feeling that outflow right now from the storm. It is very, very close to us. In fact, take a look at the flags here at our hotel, and we feel that outflow coming from the west to the east. It's a westerly flow, so definitely. I mean, it is right on our doorstep. If it's not, well, there's a nice gust of wind right there. The lightning has gotten much more intense. I'm feeling a little bit of rain come in, but we know there's a very, very intense line of weather just off to our west, and it's moving in this direction, moving to the northeast, and it's going to push over us and stay here for quite a while. In fact, you can see how intense that lightning is. Once it finally gets here, we're talking about intense rain, intense lightning. We haven't heard a ton of thunder yet, but plenty of lightning and that very cool wind as the outflow from the storm is now pushing through West Monroe and Monroe, Louisiana. There's a little bit of thunder right now. Of course, the Weather Channel is going to keep you up to date with life-saving information throughout the course of this evening. Stay tuned, folks.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Your heart is the beat of life. If you have heart failure, entrust your heart to Entresto. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. And don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
It's more than breakfast. It's an adventure. Collect all 3 glow-in-the-dark tattoos for your whole clan in specially marked Kellogg's cereal boxes. And see Avatar: The Way of Water only in theaters December 16th. This film is not yet rated.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
What do you got there? A hospital bill for me? For $1,200?
Gap!
Did you say Gap?
Yeah, he did.
He's talking about expenses that health insurance doesn't cover.
Gap! That's why there's Aflac. It pays you money to help close that gap.
Aflac, huh?
Don't tell me he high-stepping. He stole my move.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover at Aflac.com.
Bright lights everywhere. Ferrero Rocher. Smooth chocolate, crunchy hazelnut, lovingly layered and wrapped in gold.
It's Christmas time again, my love.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Yum.
The refrigerator is Greg's happy place.
My kids eat, but I finally figured it out.
We can get all that we need and then a little bit more at Walmart.
Uh-oh. Now this is going to be...
Thank you for staying with us live tonight on the Weather Channel. I'm Justin Michaels, and the rain we've been talking about and the weather we've been talking about for the last hour or so is finally here. In fact, it's probably going to get a little bit worse than this, and it's going to stay for quite a while as this storm system pushes off to the northeast. We are finally dealing with this. We've been watching it on the radar coming. The good news is there are no tornado warnings associated with this near West Monroe and Monroe, Louisiana, but we're talking about intense rains. We've seen plenty of lightning and some pretty intense winds that are going to be whipping through here. So this is going to stay like this for quite a while, folks. And for people who are to the east of where we are here in West Monroe, just know that this is also coming towards you. We're also at the Weather Channel working to get more information out of several different communities that we do know tornadoes have touched down this evening. So stay tuned to that throughout the evening. Luckily, that is not where we are, but we have had tornado warnings all around the West Monroe and Monroe, Louisiana area. We do know that tornado watches have been extended not just until 2 o'clock in the morning, but some places 4 o'clock in the morning and even later than that. So the threat is going to be real for many folks throughout the course of this night, because remember, those watches mean the ingredients are potentially there for what could be tornadic activity and severe weather, and then those warnings will be issued when there is the threat of that weather. So just be very careful as you're going through your night to make sure you have all the information you need, all the life-saving tools you need, like your phones turned on, charged, the alerts are turned on, your NOAA weather radios are available, and you have your plan in place, because we have a long night ahead of us. Remember, when we're talking about severe weather, it's bad any day and any time of the day, but at night it's even worse because, Carl, of course, people couldn't see tornadoes coming. You may not hear warnings, and this of course, can be a very dangerous part of the day to have any kind of weather, especially severe, Carl. So, Carl, what do you think as you're looking at the radar? How long do you think we're going to be in this? What's your bet? I think it's going to last a little while here in Monroe.
Yeah, I think you've got at least a half hour, and, I also think you should be ready to probably duck inside pretty quickly. We're looking at a ton of lightning there just west of where you are. Now a good 54 strikes in the last 15 minutes in a very small area just west and northwest of Monroe. So you definitely want to be ready to jump inside quickly there.
Very good. And we can, our safe space is 20 feet away. We can hop into the hotel. So in fact, I can get out of the rain right now. So I'm under the overhang and we can be inside just about that fast, Carl. So our safe place is identified. We know what we're going to do and we know where we're going to go as this severe weather is moving through.
Yeah, always have to be concerned about lightning. Justin, thanks so much for being out there. We appreciate your reporting. I want to tell you about some new weather that is being warned on right now. There's a new tornado warning for Franklin, Madison, and Tensas parishes in Louisiana. This is just west of the Mississippi. That going until 11 p.m. Excuse me, I'm going to jump back to that. And let's take a look at the velocity data with this storm and see what's going on inside that storm. So we're seeing a pretty good rotation showing up near the Winsboro area, also near Wisner as well. And so that's where there could be a possible tornado. So right in there is where we're seeing rotation developing. I'm going to go back a couple of frames so we can see where that's headed. That looks to be just about due northeast. Looks like that's heading northeast. So tracking that forward, that's coming up towards the Chase area and towards Como and Swampers as well. Possible tornado coming your way there. Then farther north, still a couple of tornado warnings in effect here. One of those for Bolivar and Washington County going until 10:15. And so, I'm not seeing anything really well defined in here. It's all, kind of amorphous at this point. Some areas of shear, but nothing that's, really jumps out at this time. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And then up into Chico County in Arkansas right now, an ongoing tornado warning in effect. Here too, this is a sort of very broad area of rotation at this time. Not seeing anything that really stands out. We're a long way from the radar too, but you've got maybe a little more concentration in the circulation there near Jerome. So just taking that forward, if we do see an extension on that tornado warning, that would come up towards Bowman and towards Macon Lake as well. Also want to show you now there's a flash flood warning in effect for Morehouse, West Carroll parishes, Ashley, Chico, Washington counties. You see this massive area of rain that came through already. With that, we had 2 to 4 inches of rain in this area. Now you've got another big line that's getting ready to come in, and with that we'll get another 1 to 3 inches, so maybe as much as 7 inches total in some areas within that flash flood warning. That is going until 12:45 in the morning. And tornado watches now extending from Lake Charles up across 49 central parts of Louisiana. Those going until 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is going to be an all-night threat for parts of the south. Then also tornado watches until 2 o'clock in the morning into parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, western Mississippi, and northeastern Louisiana. Very powerful system coming through. We've got a strong jet stream associated with that now moving up and across the mid-south. We've got a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere. Winds coming out of the south-southwest, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. There at about 5,000 feet. And then at the surface, winds are coming out of the southeast. And so there's a lot of turning there of winds from 0 to 5,000 feet. And winds are also getting a lot faster from 0 to 5,000 feet. And what that does is it creates spin. So wind storms are strong enough they can begin to acquire that spin. And that's the beginning of the process that leads to tornadoes. And where they can get strong enough is where you've got the instability. That you can think of that as low-level warm and humid air. It also has a lot to do with how the temperature profile changes as you go up through the atmosphere. But a big part of it is that feed of warm and humid air that's coming off the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got plenty of that here into Louisiana, into Mississippi. You see it does cut off as you get up into northern Mississippi. So in those areas, say around Tupelo, you expect to see less of a severe weather threat, more of a very heavy rain threat, and a lot of lightning. And as we follow the model forecast going forward, notice how the model is showing us that kind of structure in some of these cells. That sort of kidney bean shape, that's a supercell structure. So that's the model picking up on all those things that we just talked about in those areas where you've got plenty of instability, in those areas where you've got a lot of low-level wind shear. That's where there should be stronger storms that are rotating. It may not look exactly like that, but it's probably going to be similar to that. And the model is showing you generally the areas of concern. return. Now, even into midnight tonight, we still see some of that structure along these lines in parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. And then we'll take it into the overnight hours, and we're still seeing some of that structure showing up within the larger line. So embedded supercells within the line as it rolls across parts of Mississippi and also into Louisiana. But you do notice how there is that cutoff for the instability. And so, north of that, it's going to be harder to get that severe weather. But certainly where you're within that, that's where we expect these cells to be very strong through the overnight, even into tomorrow morning, even down here along the coast in Louisiana. Again, you're seeing that structure, that kidney bean structure. And that's not at all surprising because you've got the wind shear in place and you've got plenty of instability there going through the overnight tonight. So we've got a long night ahead. Very important to have a way to be warned, whether that's, keeping your phone by your bed, or if you've got a weather radio, that's great too. And we're going to be with you covering storms as necessary through the night tonight. So certainly we'll try to be with you. And we're going to be on the air at least until 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, midnight Central. Chris, over to you.
And Carl, through the day tomorrow, of course, the Weather Channel will be here tracking these storms because once again, tornadoes may be ongoing throughout the day as well. This, unfortunately, is what we could see more of in Four Forks, Louisiana earlier today. Earlier, it was this evening. We spoke with the Parish Sheriff's Office a little bit earlier here on the Weather Channel. They were telling us 2 people still missing. This was around 5 o'clock. 1 person was sent to the hospital. And with this very large storm, it looks like a large tornado in progress with a lot of damage. Saw debris in the air with the previous video. This is debris here, unfortunately, on the ground. It looks like someone's home completely ripped apart. And someone here being taken out of their home as well, it appears, being helped out there. And when you see this, you look, and it's really sometimes hard to even say where all this debris came from, which makes it appear that something was totally destroyed, or at least a huge part of a structure has been displaced. And it looks like right there, perhaps, that elongated rectangle may have been the foundation when you see the cinder blocks, maybe a mobile home that was pushed out onto another home here. Very scary and very destructive tornado into the Four Forks area here in Louisiana. This in the northwest part of the state, southwest of Shreveport, if you're familiar with the area here. So again, this threat does continue again tomorrow. And in Fort Worth, Texas, a lot earlier today, this was the scene. Some of the first storms from the first big ones earlier today, we were seeing developing here outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And one getting very close also to the airport, to DFW and Grapevine here, Texas, Carl. But you see here in Fort Worth, these storms have been numerous throughout the day.
Yeah, a remarkable video there. You can very clearly see the funnel and then what we call a little collar cloud above that. Just intense line of storms coming through the Metroplex this morning. We saw very powerful wind gusts as well, some large hail all the way around. It was really tough in the Metroplex, and that line of storms now making its way through southeast Texas towards the Piney Woods and even down into the Houston metro area. And here's a look at some of the damage left in the morning in Oklahoma. And Chris, when you get to that, we mentioned this earlier, when you get to that level of damage, when you see entire, roofs taken off and trees that are, all but stripped, that is almost certainly a tornado.
Yeah, there's some violent winds, yes. Indeed. And it's the tornadoes that really produce those violent winds. And trees, appeared somewhat perhaps healthy trees, snapped. Another sign of tornadoes quite often. The more chaotic looking, the less uniform the damage, often an indicator of tornadoes. And then some of these large objects, and you can imagine just how heavy that is, the metal associated with that to be pushed over. Very, very strong and violent storms we've been tracking here, Carl.
Yeah, you know, it's always interesting to see what the wind can do, and when you've got a lot of surface areas you do have with trailers, they're going to tend to be able to be picked up more easily. And they're here in Parker County. This is in North Texas. We see also some really significant damage here, debris strewn about, so it's going to be a long cleanup process. And again, this happened in the very early morning hours, and so that, you know, always makes things a lot more difficult. I do want to tell you about a new tornado warning that has just come out in northwestern Mississippi. That is LaFleur and Sunflower counties under warning right now, and that is until 11:15 p.m. And so we're watching this area that is near Indianola, right in there. That is the circulation that is showing up. That is coming towards Indianola. Let's see if there's any debris showing up. Not seeing any debris, but that's a pretty strong circulation right now, and that is moving northeast, so moving into Indianola. In just the next few minutes here, you want to get to your safe place right now in Indianola. That's going to move in about 3 minutes or so. Then beyond that, coming into Sunflower, then coming into Schlater, and then into Craigside at about 10:47 or so. Strong circulation showing up here. Brand new tornado warning in effect for LaFleur and Sunflower counties. Chris.
All right, Carl. And right now, again, as Carl's looking at this, the velocity data here showing what does appear to be a tight rotation. We see what has happened already. So if you're within this area, this tornado warned area here, take cover, because the atmosphere has been producing some violent storms and a lot of damage. In some cases, homes have been destroyed. We've seen this, the extensive damage in Texas, in Louisiana, and now watching some of these storms moving through Arkansas and Mississippi at this hour. And you can see tornado warnings, Carl, currently in Louisiana, Arkansas, and in Mississippi.
Yeah, and this is, you know, really a function of those strong low-level winds, and they are strongest right now right in these areas where we are seeing those tornado warnings in parts of Louisiana and in Mississippi. So let's go through the warnings right now. First of all, we've got Franklin, Madison, Tensas parishes under warning until 11 p.m. Circulation right there near Winnsboro, and that's been going towards the northeast over the last several frames here. So taking that in that direction, looks like that's going to be coming up towards the Bushes area and Longview in Quebec as well. Then the newest tornado warning just out moments ago, LaFleur and Sunflower counties in Mississippi near Indianola is where we're seeing the rotation. So right in there, you see that area of sort of bright yellow and then dark green. That's where the circulation is. And at least aloft here, this is a good ways from the radar, and that is coming towards Indianola right now. You want to get to your safe place now in Indianola, and then Baird and Sunflower at about 10:26 or so. Then one more tornado warning to tell you about, Chico County in Arkansas. And here there's an area of shear. It looks like that is largely outside of that warning area. We'll see if a downstream warning is issued in the next few minutes here. More coming up.
If you're loud, be louder. If you stand out, stand strong. And if you got the devil on your shoulder, take him for a ride.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
People love Subaru just because it stands for much more than just a car.
Through the Share the Love event, Subaru retailers have supported over 1,700 hometown charities.
Have I witnessed and seen the impact of what we do? You bet I have.
We have worked with so many amazing causes and made a difference.
By the end of this year, Subaru and our retailers will have donated over $250 million to charity.
It's about more than just selling cars. The Subaru Share the Love event, going on now.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife Ultra Filtered Milk.
Meet three sisters. The drummer, the dribbler, and the daydreamer. The dribbler's getting hands-on practice with her Chase First Banking debit card. The drummer's making savings simple with a tap. Round of applause. And this dreamer, well, she's still learning how to budget, so Mom keeps her alerts on full volume.
Hey!
What? It's true. And that's all thanks to Chase First Banking. Freedom for kids, control for parents. One bank with tools for both, all with no monthly service fee. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Try Downy Light In-Wash Freshness Boosters. It has long-lasting light scent, no heavy perfumes, and no dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. Downy Light.
This year, save on gifts that mean more during the big holiday sale. Only at Kay.
When you serve a Boar's Head sweet slice ham, something magical happens. Born from a family recipe, it's expertly smoked and crafted for carving. This is the ham that will bring everyone and everything together. Boar's Head sweet slice ham. Compromise elsewhere.
Welcome home. I wasn't expecting this.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
If you're
For skin as alive as you are, don't settle for silver. Harness the power of 7 moisturizers and 3 vitamins to smooth, heal, and moisturize your dry skin. Gold Bond. Champion your skin.
When it's go time, I don't let constipation stop me.
New great-tasting Dulcolax Chewy Fruit Bites work naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. So you can go fast, go gently, and go on with life. New Dulcolax Chewy Fruit Bites put you comfortably in control.
When you see replacing windows and doors as another item in your to-do list, Windorama sees a project we can't wait to help you finish. Our installation experts are ready to provide you with the best options for your project. Like Anderson, rated #1 in quality. And right now, when you purchase 10 or more windows installed, get a free sliding patio door. Plus, no interest and no payments for 12 months. For full offer details and to schedule your free in-home consultation, visit installwithrama.com.
Currently in our area, 33 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 29. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, generally sunny. High 39. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 32. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now yours to stream with the Weather Channel TV app, real-time radar, and maps that let you track all the action.
Let's get into the detail of
Personalization, customization, hundreds of hours of your favorite shows, and so much more. There's never been a better way for everyone to watch the Weather Channel. Available now on these platforms. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7-day trial.
So you're looking at intense wind there on what was either a tornado, from either a tornado or the periphery of a tornado. Oftentimes if you're actually in a tornado, can get a whole lot hairier than that, but certainly there was very intense wind coming through there. It was just a really scary morning in the Metroplex in general. A lot of tornado warnings, a lot of reports of wind damage, and also large hail, and you can see fierce winds coming through there.
Carl, looking at the, you're talking about the winds. The rain, especially off to the left here, it looks like the rain, it's not falling. It looks like the rain is being forced down, right? Like the atmosphere, the wind is like pushing down the rain. The water is being pushed and forced out of the sky as opposed to just falling and then being blown.
Well, you know, what's also interesting about that is you know, one thing that does make me wonder if they were on the edge of a tornado in this case is the fact that you do have such low visibility. And there are times when that can be wind, but there are also times, and we see this in the core of hurricanes, where you've got such low pressure that you're actually looking at condensation. You're actually seeing cloud developing.
You're almost like in a cloud, like it's like a fog.
Yeah, so it's like you're either in the condensation funnel of a tornado, and you can see that in the eye wall of a hurricane as well. You know, a lot of times when people are reporting from the eye wall, you see the exact same thing. You see that visibility just drop way off, and you know, that's often cloud as opposed to being rain or something like that. So maybe they were in a tornado. I'd like to know actually, you know, precisely where this was relative to the reports that we got today. But that's intense wind, no question about it.
No question about that. Stuff tumbling along, but just the nature of how, and the more I look at it, Carl, the more it does look to have that appearance. We'll often talk about rain coming in sheets or in like waves, but I think that might be some of the water droplets that have the condensation. You have the precipitation, right? The rainfall, then the condensation, the moisture condensing out of the sky.
Right, exactly. And, you know, I'm sure you've had this experience. I know I certainly have. It's very, very easy to sort of overestimate wind. In that case, I think there actually is really intense wind there. I mean, it's difficult to just sort of eyeball that, but you've probably had this experience, Chris, being out in the field, where you hold up your anemometer and you're like, that's it? You know, I mean, you know, like a 50-mile-an-hour wind feels a lot stronger when you're really in a bona fide 50-mile-an-hour wind.
Yes, I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. That's it. Yeah, it feels a lot stronger. At one point, though, Carl, does it look like the van kind of lifts a little bit or moves a little bit here? I don't know if you saw. There's one part of this video.
The one in the foreground or the one in
the white one off to the right?
Across the street. Oh, it's definitely moving around. It's definitely wiggling. Yeah.
That is, and then oftentimes you'll hear people giggling or laughing, and I think it's like that nervous
laugh.
Because it's weird.
Yes.
You're seeing you're seeing something that you know, can't, it's hard to imagine, or you don't really, you know, it's kind of almost surprising.
No question about it. I mean, it's, you know, and that's the thing that's scary about being in situations like this, is you're not really sure, you know, sometimes, you know, just how bad it's going to get unless you're a meteorologist and you're, you know, acutely aware of the forces that are causing this. Hey, we want to get out to our Justin Michaels. He's been in Monroe, Louisiana tonight. Justin, what's the situation there? It looks like that line is just past you, huh?
When I'll tell you what we're experiencing is much cooler temperatures. Right now, some of our phone thermometers, I'll call them, are saying 65 degrees. And there's a light breeze, too, making it feel a little cooler than that, especially with how damp the atmosphere is right now. So we're on the back side of that line. Temperatures have certainly dropped. And we do have that, though, tornado watch in place here in West Monroe and in Monroe, Louisiana, and really much of this part of Louisiana through 4 o'clock tomorrow morning now. So remember, up until just about an hour ago, it was until 10 o'clock tonight. It has been extended overnight. The National Weather Service, of course, doing that out of an abundance of caution, because you just never know what's going to spring up. So just keep your guard up. This is not the night to be like, okay, it's over, I'm going to bed, turning the phone off, turning everything off, we're done. You just don't know. And a good piece of evidence to back that up is that we have had that all extended through 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Definitely an interesting evening here. We do know storms did lay down tornadoes in different parts of Louisiana, and there has been property damage. It's not over yet. And of course, it goes through tomorrow morning in places south and east of where we are, even maybe as far south as New Orleans tomorrow morning. So we'll have to see what pans out over the course of this night into the early morning hours. Of course, the Weather Channel will stay with you throughout the evening to keep you informed with information you need to keep yourself and your families safe. Stay tuned, folks. We're back after this.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
No two dreams are the same. But there is one van equipped to handle them all. For over 120 years, Mercedes-Benz vans have been built, upfitted, and ready to go. Because we believe dreams should never stay that way.
Curiosity pushes you forward. It's what inspired Meiomi to create an unrivaled wine using the best from California to push flavor in new directions for a taste like no other. Meiomi, flavor forward.
If you already know that a blend of tender, marbled Wagyu beef makes the best burger, good for you. Arby's Wagyu Steakhouse Burger is back. You beef genius? Arby's, we have the meats.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Your TV shows change. Your TV bills don't have to. Get the same bill every month for 3 years. Dad. The 3-year TV price guarantee, only from Dish, tuned into you. Dad?
Ever notice how stiff clothes can feel rough on your skin? For softer clothes that are gentle on your skin, try Downy Free and Gentle. Downy will soften your clothes without dyes or perfumes.
The towel washed with Downy is softer and gentler on your skin. Try Downy Free and Gentle.
It's Macy's Gifts You'll Love to Gift sale now with an extra 20% off gifts for all at every price. Plus, everyone gets $10 Macy's money for every $50 spent at Macy's.
Dude, you coming? Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max gels with more concentrated power. Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop Fizz Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also try for fast sinus and pain relief.
Stover's makes you happy full.
Kids, dinner!
With 2 times the meat and 3 kinds of cheese, you can't be anything but happy full. Stouffer's.
Get $400 when you pair your Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread with accessories, like cycling shoes, dumbbells, and more. It's Peloton's gift to you. Visit onepeloton.com. Terms apply.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites and hot wings have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
Tornado! It's going back up.
Tornadoes in progress across the South through a lot of the day. Already there has been damage across parts of Texas. And right now, nearly 3 million under that severe threat tonight. Even more tomorrow, as this does remain a multi-day severe weather threat. We are live here on the Weather Channel, 12 midnight Central Time, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern, covering the ongoing tornado threat and severe weather threat associated with a major winter storm. So it's not just the severe weather threat, but also blizzard conditions with blizzard warnings currently in effect. And we're going to continue to see that ongoing. And we're still watching and continuing to see the severe weather threat march to the east through the south right now. For that and the latest on some of the warnings that are currently active, let's head over to storm specialist Carl Parker, who's been tracking this severe weather threat throughout this evening. Carl.
Yeah, we've had nearly unbroken tornado warnings for the last few hours now, and right now there are 3 of them in Louisiana and also in Mississippi. We'll begin in northeast Louisiana, so this warning just south of I-20, that is Madison Parish, a radar observed a tornado here, and so we're watching that circulation right in there. Let's see if there's some debris showing up on the radar. I'm not seeing anything right now. We'll go back a couple of scans. Not seeing any debris, but certainly there is a circulation that is pretty well defined there, and that is moving to the northeast right now. So on that path, coming towards the Richmond area at about 10:55 or so. Then up into northwest Mississippi, LaFleur and Sunflower counties under warning until 11:15. We were watching this area near Indianola. It's not quite as well defined as it was moments ago. Nonetheless, we'll just track that forward to be safe. That coming up towards Sunflower and Schlater and Sunnyside as well. Then farther west, another tornado warning into Bolivar, Sunflower, and Washington counties. This is right along the Mississippi River, just a little farther east, looking at that area there, moving to the northeast once again and rapidly, about 50 miles per hour. That's going to be coming towards Benoit and also Kimball Lake and Cleveland and eventually Marigold as well. In all of those areas, possible tornado coming your way, so heads up on that. Also got a flash flood warning in effect here. You see how this big line of storms slowly came through. Now we've got another one moving across the same areas. Already 2 to 4 inches of rain has fallen in this area. Another 1 to 3 is possible in this area. And we've got an ongoing tornado threat that is going to go through the night tonight. These are tornado watches along I-10 there in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, including Lake Charles, until 4 o'clock in the morning, right up and along 49, either side of 49. Then into northeastern Louisiana, again going until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then here into parts of Mississippi and northeastern Louisiana, watch going until 2 o'clock in the morning. And so it's going to be a threat that continues for some time. Looking at a considerable threat tag now for Madison Parish with this observed tornado warning. Let's look at the latest on that from the Weather Service. Particularly dangerous, confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Bakers, 16 miles northeast of Winnsboro, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to get a little bit tighter in here, and unfortunately we're not in a really good spot for the radar. You get a very pixelated appearance right in there. Let's see if there is some debris showing up right now. I'm not seeing any debris that is co-located with that. We've got a brand new scan just now, so it may be that we are seeing some debris, in fact. So farther north, getting right up in there, that's about where that circulation is. And there could, in fact, be right there. Looks like that little guy right there, that is what we call the tornado debris signature, and that is moving to the northeast. So we've got a likely ongoing tornado here moving northeast, and that is going to be coming into the Tallulah area at 10:52. Heads up there, we've got a tornado in progress right now, and again, a considerable threat tag on this storm. Looks like it's in a more rural area for the time being, but that is eventually going to be coming up towards I-20 and towards Tallulah. So heads up there, very strong circulation now moving up towards I-20. And again, that one little bin right there is showing us where debris is being lofted up into the atmosphere. But this is also very high up. When you get farther away from the radar, you're higher up. And so when you see debris that is that high up, there's a very good chance that you've got a strong tornado here, and that's exactly what the Weather Service is warning on. We'll have more on this dangerous situation coming up in just a few minutes.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Chevy Silverado factory-lifted trucks. Where will they take you? Silverado ZR2, Trail Boss, and Custom Trail Boss. Because adventure is everywhere.
Oh, hey, it's the Donovans. You know, legend has it, the Donovans had a barbecue that fed half a town.
You know what I heard? They drove cross country just to walk their dog.
Apparently, they climbed a mountain to save some wild horses. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Toyota, let's go places.
MS tries to stop me. MS is like riding into headwinds, but I keep pushing forward.
Does MS define me? No, it does not.
I take Ocrevus, an infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
A prescription for adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression and reducing brain lesions in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have Hep B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had colitis or Hep B, as Hep B could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions. Some may be serious and require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease some immunoglobulins. PML is rare but may happen with Ocrevus. It can lead to disability or death. An increased risk of colitis and cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
We take Ocrevus. That's more progress, less progression.
Ask your doctor about starting with 2 times a year Ocrevus.
I tried everything to remove fabric odors, but my clothes still smelled. Until I finally found New Downy Rinse and Refresh.
It doesn't just cover odors, it helps remove them up to 3 times better than detergent alone. Find New Downy Rinse and Refresh in the fabric softener aisle.
Hey, Jake from State Farm.
We have to know.
Yeah, these are State Farm pajamas. No, what if we have to talk to somebody about our policy, but it's late at night? Call us 24/7.
Great, because what if someone still calls his mom for everything?
We'll walk you through everything. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Oh, yeah, Mom, everything's great. Yeah. I mean, not my mom.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Vision insurance doesn't do you any good if you don't use it. Just like this treadmill I bought that I keep saying I'll use, but never do. Yeah. With hundreds of frames to choose from, you can put your vision insurance to good use at America's Best. Book an exam today.
This holiday, make no mistake, everything here is Philadelphia cheesecake. Cheesecake is everything. Bake your own.
Welcome back to our ongoing coverage of severe weather. We've been following several tornado warnings here in the last few minutes, nearly unbroken tornado warnings over the last few hours. I'm going to begin with a brand new one that has just come out in the southern part of Arkansas. That is Allen Parish under warning until 11 p.m. Radar indicated, and we'll zoom on down here. And so right there is where we're seeing a circulation, and that is looks to be in a more rural area right now, coming towards Route 10 and Oakdale. Not getting any towns to show up right now, but areas west of Oakdale, that's where a possible tornado could be coming your way. Then as we go farther north, we're also now looking at a tornado warning up into the northeast part of the state, and that is up here near Vicksburg. Tornado warning right in here, and there's a considerable threat tag on this for Madison Parish for a strong tornado. So right in there, and I'm going to show you the circulation, but also, so there's the circulation right there, but this is a long way. You notice how these bins are very large? It's a long way from the Jackson radar, so we're shooting very high up. into the atmosphere. And you see that one little band there that's got that green color. That is where there is some debris being lofted well up into the atmosphere at a level of 10,000 feet. And so that is why there is this considerable threat tag, because normally when you see a debris signature, it's lower. If you've got debris that's all the way up at 10,000 feet, well, you know you've most likely got a strong tornado. Now, right now in this area, this is in the Tensas River National Wildlife Refuge. So right now it's in an area where there aren't any people. The question is, where is it going to go? And it's going to come up towards this I-20 corridor. It may pass just to the west of Tallulah. I'm going to go back to the velocity mode here, and we can sort of track this out. So there's the current position of the circulation. We'll go back one frame, and we can see right in there, that was the last position of the circulation. So it appears on that trajectory that it's going to be moving basically to the northeast, maybe even a little north of northeast. And so that should take it up west of Tallulah. In that case, unless it changes dramatically, I'm going to position that as best I can. So that could eventually take it towards Quebec, but it would be west of Tallulah, which is a more highly populated area. So if you're west of Tallulah and along I-20 near Quebec there, certainly watch out, because we've got a tornado warning here with a considerable threat tag because debris is being lofted so high up into the atmosphere. That's a clue that's telling us that there's most likely a strong tornado in this location. Also, some other warnings to tell you about. LaFleur sunflower under warning until 11:15. Not seeing as much evidence of rotation there. Got another warning in effect here for Bolivar sunflower in Washington until 11:30. Just sort of a broad shear line in this area. And then farther north, also want to tell you about another tornado warning that has just come out. This into the northern part of the state, Panola and Tallahatchie, Yalobusha counties in Mississippi under warning until 11:15. And so here we're seeing an area that is developing just west of 55, a broad circulation, but a stronger one that is just west of 55, and that is moving off to the northeast. So that could eventually come towards the Oxford area, where, of course, the University of Mississippi is located. So we need to keep a close eye on that. Again, it's a broad circulation right now, but it is fairly strong, and we'll be watching that very closely. All right, we want to get back out to Justin Michaels. He's been reporting from Monroe, Louisiana on the storms tonight. And Justin, you said it got a whole lot cooler after that line of storms came through.
Yeah, a couple other changes too, in addition to the temperature really going down quite a bit. Whereas throughout the course of this entire evening, Carl, we've been seeing, lightning off in the western sky, hearing thunder coming from that general direction. Now it's all in the eastern sky. So we know that we're on the other side of this. We did just get a pretty decent shower on the back end of this. And we do know that the tornado watch here has been extended through 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Was originally set to expire at 10 o'clock tonight, pushed all the way to 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, giving you some indication that there's still going to be plenty of instability in the atmosphere and still no time or no room to let your guard down. Considering that they have pushed it ahead that far into the future, we have another long night here, and make sure you're keeping your guard up. Make sure your cell phones are charged, make sure your alerts are turned on, and make sure everybody knows what the plan is if in case that watch turns into a warning like we are now seeing. As Carl was saying, more than a half a dozen warnings have just popped up in the last, 10 or 15 minutes or so. So this system is still very active, it's still very strong, and it still is deserving of all of our attention to make sure we get through this night safely. We know, Carl, there have been injuries already associated with this. Luckily, no deaths associated so far. Let's hope we don't have to talk about any deaths tomorrow morning. Carl, and to you.
All right, Justin, thanks so much. And once again, we want to show you the latest on the tornado warnings that are in effect here in Louisiana and also in Mississippi. First of all, in south central Mississippi, that is Allen Parish, under warning right now until 11 p.m. Seeing a pretty strong circulation now just southwest of Elizabeth and moving towards the northeast. I'm going to go back a couple of frames here. That's pretty solidly northeast, so that's going to come really close to Elizabeth, might come right into Elizabeth. Heads up there in Elizabeth and certainly south and east of Elizabeth. Possible tornado coming your way around 10:50 or or so. Then farther north, got another tornado warning, had a considerable threat tag here. There is now a downstream tornado warning, and that is just a, what we call more of a regular tornado warning, and that is for East Carroll, Madison, Issaquena, and Warren. And we'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Today, my friend, you did it! You did it! You
Good news! A new clinical study showed that Centrum Silver supports cognitive health in older adults. It's one more step towards taking charge of your health. So every day, you can say, Centrum Silver.
How did Kellogg's combine crunchy oat clusters with a touch of honey, plump, juicy raisins, and tasty fiber into one delicious cereal? It took a lot of brainstorming. Get it? Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch. 2 scoops of delicious.
For COPD, ask your doctor about Breasttree. Breasttree gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breasttree won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breasttree more than prescribed. Breasttree may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breasttree.
At Walmart, save on thousands of gifts for everyone on your list. The savings are here all month long. Plus, get delivery on your gifts in as fast as 1 hour, right up to Christmas Eve. Shop Walmart online or in-store today.
After 15 years of the Share the Love event, Subaru and our retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. In fact, Subaru is the largest corporate donor to the ASPCA and the National Park Foundation, and the largest automotive donor to Meals on Wheels and Make-A-Wish. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Big news. Right now at Spectrum Mobile, unlimited is only $29.99 a month, and your next line is free. Or to rephrase it, you get nationwide 5G for just $29.99, and your next line is free. Over. Or you could say you get unlimited and reliable coast-to-coast coverage for only $29.99, and your next line is free. 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 And your next line's free. Get unlimited for $29.99 a month, and your next line is free for 12 months. Call, click, or visit a Spectrum store today.
The holidays are here, and your list is a mile long. But whether it's something festive for Mom's new place in Phoenix, something unique for your equally unique Aunt Sil and Uncle Phil, or something, literally anything, for your daughter's trombone teacher, ProFlowers helps you do the holidays your way.
I woke up and saw that things were not good.
Flash flood emergency just outside of Nashville. Get inside! Run!
Within seconds, it was on top of us.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
Currently in our area, 33 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low, 29. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, generally sunny. High, 39. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low, 32. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back. We are following severe weather right now across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, and still a number of tornado warnings to tell you about. One of those in the south central part of the state And so this is well southwest of 49. Allen Parish under warning until 11 p.m. Looking at a circulation near Elizabeth right now, right about in there. Getting really close to Elizabeth as it moves northeast. And so if you're in Elizabeth or points just southeast of Elizabeth, heads up a possible tornado coming your way in this area as that moves off to the northeast. Let's look and see if there's some debris showing up right now. I'm not seeing anything that is conclusive at this time, but certainly there is a strong circulation there. And again, that's going to come right across Route 10 and into Elizabeth and certainly the southeast side of Elizabeth as well. Then farther north, looking at a couple of tornado warnings here, one for Madison Parish and then also a downstream tornado warning in effect, and that is for East Carroll, Madison Parishes, Issaquena, and Warren counties in Mississippi. So it's coming into the Mississippi River area. Not a real well-defined area of circulation, but there is something there now crossing just west of Tallulah and along I-20, and that's going to be moving up towards Anoka here in the next few minutes. So a possible tornado along with that. We did see some debris with that a while back. LaFleur and Sunflower counties in Mississippi under warning until 11:15. Not seeing a whole lot here, seeing some sort of broad areas showing up, but not seeing much evidence of rotation right now, at least a strong rotation. Then farther north, looking at another tornado warning for Panola, Tallahatchie, and Yalobusha counties until 11:15. So right in there is where we're seeing some circulation that is now just across Interstate 55. So right there, and we'll see if that manages to tighten up a little bit. That is generally coming towards Oxford, which of course is where the University of Mississippi is. So heads up there. That's going to be coming into Oxford at about 11:17. So about a half an hour or so before that moves in. And then farther west, in Bolivar County, an ongoing tornado warning until 11:30. And, here you've got a shear line where you've got, wind going this way and wind going this way. So, there may be some little circulations developing along that. I'll just track that whole area out just to be on the safe side. And that's coming up towards Laughlin and Cleveland and Marigold as well. I'll be moving in to Cleveland at about 10:58 or so. Larger picture for you right now. We're looking at a very strong parent storm, big circulation up into the northern plains. And then on the southern end of that, strong jet stream winds, and those strong jet stream winds helping to bring on very strong low-level winds. And you see that right in here. That is what's called the low-level jet. And that is a really big part of what drives that tornado threat. Those winds at about 5,000 feet coming out of a different direction and a much faster speed as compared to the low-level flow.
This the scene earlier in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That is snow and wind blowing the snow in a big way. Blizzard conditions across parts of the plains today, and that threat does continue with snow that is falling and snow that has already fallen. Winds can still pick up the snow on the ground, blow it around, and reduce visibilities. Want to show you some of the conditions right now as we continue to monitor some of the cameras that are in the snow and have been in the snow lately. Sheridan, Wyoming right now, where it is 17 degrees and not seeing this snow falling at this moment, but you can see evidence of snow that is blown around when you look underneath the overhangs on some of the buildings on the left-hand side of the screen and the right-hand side of the screen, and you see the snow has gone all the way up to the side of the building. This was blown snow here, snow that has been blown around, not the gently flying snow. So everything gets snow blasted, if you will. Similar story here in Deadwood, South Dakota, where it's 12. Still snowing right now, but it has been windy. The trees are flocked, the lights are on, and the snow has been piling up and piling up in a pretty big way as well. It's time when you're going to get snowflakes even if you are standing under cover. So if you are a snow lover, a beautiful scene. If you're a traveler through this area, maybe not so much. Let's take a look at the snowy side of this massive winter storm. This is the same storm here, this big area of low pressure. You track that swirl all the way down in this direction and down into the south. That's what's helping to set off a lot of these storms, essentially, that we're currently tracking in the south. But the snow does continue to fall across Nebraska, South Dakota, Colorado, and Wyoming. Winds continue to howl, gusting to 43 in Scotts Bluff recently. Snow still coming down and will continue to come down here in the near term. Heavy snow as well, and eventually around Duluth could see blizzard conditions as well. That's what this is. Blizzard warning in effect as the winds will continue to crank, especially close to that area of low pressure. Could see a couple to a few feet of snow in the northeast part of Minnesota. You get a sense of how this is going to play out. Snow on and off through much of the day tomorrow. In fact, even going into Thursday.
If you still have symptoms of moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or active psoriatic arthritis after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help.
Stand up to your symptoms with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that tackles pain, stiffness, swelling. For some, Rinvoq significantly reduces RA and PSA fatigue.
It can stop further irreversible joint damage, and Rinvoq can leave skin clear or almost clear in PSA. That's Rinvoq Relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq. Rinvoq. Make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Entresto is the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. And don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
Dude, you coming? Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. With Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Flu Relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast Cough Relief.
Extra hard studying calls for something extra. So you serve up new DiGiorno fully stuffed crust pizza. Because pizza with an extra layer of cheese stuffed edge to edge throughout the entire crust always hits the spot. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
The refrigerator is Greg's happy place.
My kids eat, but I finally figured it out.
We can get all that we need, and then a little bit more at Walmart. Uh-oh. Now this is going
to be... Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a nasty one. That's a tornado right there. Oh my gosh.
A lot of nasty weather here across parts of the South from Texas now into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. That threat is ongoing. 5 states under the threat currently for some of the stronger storms. Still could see large hail, damaging winds, and of course that tornado threat ongoing will last into tomorrow as well. All from a powerful coast-to-coast storm. by the time this storm moves out, nearly 100 million people and almost every state in the contiguous 48 will have been under some form of threat. Not just tornadoes and severe storms, but also heavy snow, ice, and even blizzard conditions have all been possible, with some areas expected to see the snow measured in feet. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, live tonight with you until 12 midnight Central Time, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern, along with this gentleman right here, a storm specialist, Carl Parker, who's been watching these warnings and tracking these warnings with some dangerous storms tonight. Carl.
You know, Chris, a lot of times we talk about instability as being a function of what time of day you're in, the instability generally being higher in the afternoon and also in the evening. But there are cases where you can keep that instability going all night long, and when you've got a very dynamic system, as we do in this case, that means the severe threat, the tornado threat, also continues deep into the evening. So we've had a nearly unbroken night of tornado warnings here. Several warnings now from Louisiana up into northern Mississippi will begin to the south, and the newest tornado warning south of Alexandria, Allen, and Rapides parishes under warning until 11:15. And so here we're seeing a sort of broader area of circulation. I'll go back a couple of frames. You can compare that to what we were looking at moments ago. You can see I was a little tighter in there, a little brighter and tighter. Now it appears to be sort of broadening out, and so that's a good sign. We'll see if that holds. That is generally going to come up towards Glenmora and 165, and we'll come back to that. We'll be watching that closely. Then another warning here, right along the Mississippi River. This is East Carroll, Madison parishes, Issaquah, Warren counties in Mississippi, and we're getting what is called anti-aliasing here. So that's kind of goofing with the return a little bit, but there is definitely a circulation that is near Tallulah and moving towards the northeast. And so on that trajectory, going to be coming up towards Anoka and Brunswick, Magna Vista, and New Fittler as well. In all those areas, possible tornado coming your way. I'm not seeing any debris right now, but there certainly is a circulation that is showing up in those areas, a robust circulation that's about ready to cross Route 65. So in those areas, please get ready. And then farther north, I've got a tornado warning here. We just saw one drop off at the top of the hour. Another tornado warning for Panola, Tallahatchie, and Yalobusha counties. Now here, I'm seeing more of a shear line. So right in there, that's the leading edge of some strong wind. We did see a little more evidence of rotation right in there, but again, you can see the character of that right now, how it's sort of elongated. Compare that to what we were looking at moments ago, and you could see where it was, a good bit tighter and, more of a rotation as opposed to a shear line. So it does appear that things are looking a little bit better here, but because there is shear all along that area, let's just go ahead and track that entire thing forward just to be on the safe side. That coming towards Oakland and Shuford and Burgess as well. So we may see a little spin up developing along the leading edge of that. Also now looking at a flash flood warning in effect for Morehouse and West Carroll parishes, as well as Ashley, Chicot, and Washington counties. A lot of rain coming through with one line initially, and now another line is coming through the area. So we had 2 to 4 inches with that first one, and now getting another 1 to 3 with the second line that is moving through. Watches. There are tornado watches in effect from southwest Louisiana, parts of Texas, across the Sabine River, up into the central part of the state. These watches going until 4 o'clock in the morning. Also watch along the Mississippi River, that going until 2 o'clock in the morning. That does include Greenville in areas west of Jackson. And when we look at what's driving all of this, very strong parent storm, the main feature of which is actually moved way up here into the northern plains. That's where we're getting a blizzard right now. And Chris is going to talk more about that. But on the southern end, we still got very strong winds aloft and lift in the atmosphere. And that is helping to drive this low-level wind here, what we call the low-level jet. And you see the wind right in there. This is wind of 40 to 50 to 60 miles per hour at about a mile up in the atmosphere. And then you see how that compares with the winds out of the surface, which are coming out of a different direction. So when the winds cross like that from the surface up to 5,000 feet, they're orthogonal. or perpendicular, when you have that kind of a turning of the winds in that lowest level of the atmosphere, that creates spin in the atmosphere. And that's the beginning of the process that leads to a rotating storm. And what you need next is instability. And we certainly do have that. We have less of it as you get farther north, just enough to support storms in northern Mississippi. But you see it's much greater as you go farther south down into southern Mississippi and down into Louisiana. So what we can show you is how this is likely to evolve going forward. This is a model forecast along with the modeled instability, because that's important. We need to know where the storms are going to have fuel to keep going. And we see these individual supercell storms in Mississippi, in Louisiana through midnight tonight. Then we go into the overnight hours, still some very strong storms, and then some individual cells within that line of storms. And so it's those embedded supercells that we're going to be really concerned about overnight tonight, even into tomorrow morning, still seeing some of those individual cells across southern Mississippi and in south central parts of Louisiana. So it is no doubt going to be a very long night here across parts of the Deep South, even tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, continuing to be active in these areas. Chris, over to you.
And Carl, we're going to take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, but also as we do so, and before we do so, I want to remind everyone what these storms are capable of. And unfortunately, this in northwest Louisiana, southwest of Shreveport, appears to be a very large tornado, and certainly with the debris flying around it and with the trees on the ground, you can kind of get a sense of scale, just how large it is. It can still be pretty tough, but this is an area here in Caddo Parish where we did speak with the sheriff's office, a representative, and that was about 5 o'clock is when they were telling us that this was in progress. 2 people were missing. That was the latest report there. 1 person was sent to the hospital. So with damage like this, you know how much of a serious situation it is when tornadoes come heading toward town, and how important it is to heed warnings and seek sustainable shelters. Some shelters just can't handle it. Even tornadoes that aren't super strong can still do extensive damage to shelters and homes that aren't built up to the standard necessary to withstand some of the more powerful winds with some of these storms. And you really got to get a sense of just how strong some of these storms may have been as they were coming through. Again, this in the northwest part of Louisiana as we continue to track these storms. I want to take another look here at what we're expecting in terms of where severe weather is going to be possible for tomorrow. So this is Wednesday, and still in Louisiana from Lake Charles up to Alexandria, over to Birmingham here in Alabama, then down into the Florida Panhandle. But it's this area here in red. So not only is it possible, it's likely there's going to be some of the stronger storms, and this threat does include a tornado threat, the possibility there could be more tornadoes tomorrow. The winds coming up out of the south, helping to bring in more moisture. That's sort of like the fuel for these thunderstorms. Going to produce quite a bit of heavy rain. It's going to be enough instability where it's a little bit warmer as well. Here's the warm front. So you're in the warm sector here out ahead of the cold front. So that's really going to be the prime time spots for some of the stronger storms, which can happen throughout the day and into the evening hours as well. And the areas here where we are expecting to see severe weather, it is a 5 out of 10 on our exclusive Torcon here at the Weather Channel. So the bigger the number, the bigger the threat. But even a 2 or a 3 tells you that there is the possibility that there will be tornadoes. And the high-resolution future radar indicating, with that little feature right in here, a little bit of an appendage on there, that these are likely supercell thunderstorms. That's a pretty classic look of a supercell thunderstorm, which are these rotating thunderstorms. They tend to last longer, they can be stronger, and they're the ones more likely to produce tornadoes. So the threat continuing here. This is tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and this will include still parts of Louisiana, in Mississippi, and you see how this progresses even into the afternoon around lunchtime or so. Still could see some of these individual strong storms embedded within this somewhat of a kind of scraggly line here, if you will, and still a mess going into the afternoon. Could see some of the stronger storms around 3 o'clock here Central Time for New Orleans, then into Mobile in the evening hours, Montgomery, Birmingham, as these storms will continue to occasionally be strong with some very heavy rain as well. Again, another look at the tornado threat, a 5. So it's getting up there on the Torcon here. So again, that tornado threat does continue tonight. And with that, let's head back over to Carl.
So we're watching some very dangerous storms tonight in western Mississippi, and there is a new tornado warning to tell you about, and also weather spotters confirming a tornado right along the Mississippi River. That is East Carroll, Madison parishes, Issaquena, Warren counties under warning until 11:45. There is the storm that we're concerned about that is right along 65 right now and moving towards the northeast. Again, weather spotters confirming a tornado with that storm as it moves northeast. So following that forward, that's going to be coming up. It's moving into Omega right now. Please get to your safe place right now. Again, weather spotters have confirmed a tornado with this storm. Then we'll be moving into Brunswick and then towards Kelso and that 61 corridor. Looking to see if there's some debris right now. I'm not seeing anything that's really all that co-located with the area of circulation. But again, weather spotters reporting a tornado near Tallulah as that moves northeast. Then a new tornado warning has just been issued for Humphreys and Sharkey counties until midnight tonight. Here we're looking at a circulation near Rolling Fork, so right in that area. That rapidly moving towards the northeast and will be coming up towards Belzoni. So following that, that'll move into Anguilla first of all, then Comida, Gooden Lake beyond that, and then Silver City, and then Belzoni at about 11:41. In all of those areas, possible tornado coming your way, so please heads up on that. Also into the northeast part of the state, Panola and Tallahatchie and Yalobusha counties under warning until 11:15. Looking at the radar here, seeing more of a damaging wind threat right in there. We'll continue to keep our eyes on that. I'm going to take a look at slightly higher elevation to see if that yields anything. I'm not seeing much there. And then also going back down into central parts of Louisiana, Allen and Rapides parishes under warning. Here you see sort of a broader area of circulation, but this is a case where if we do actually tilt up a little bit, we do see there's a little more structure higher up in the cloud. Not a whole lot more, but a little bit more. So right in there. And that's where there's at least some mid-level rotation, which can, translate down to the ground. So that is generally heading towards Bringhurst, Woodworth, and also into the Cooley area. Chris, over to you.
And Carl, also with this severe storm threat is associated with a large system that extends all the way up into the northern plains. This is a look at Nebraska from earlier today when it was daylight, but visibility was not great with the blowing snow. You look off in the distance and the horizon just sort of looks fuzzy. Plows out and as the plows go by, the snow just blows right back in at times. So we're tracking this winter storm right now, and this winter storm does have the potential for still bringing a lot more snow and producing blizzard conditions. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, meteorologist Mike Seidel has the latest from Sturgis, South Dakota.
Blizzard warnings were flying in parts of 7 states tonight, including right here in Sturgis, South Dakota. Temperatures today have been stuck in the low teens, more than 25 degrees below average, and the wind chills have been below zero all day. These winds gusting over 40 miles an hour. You can see what it's doing to the snowfall. The blizzard warning goes until 5 a.m. Thursday morning. Already over a foot of snow up in the Black Hills. They could see another 10 to 12 inches of snow. And the temperatures aren't going to warm up anytime soon. In fact, next week, highs will stay below zero. As far as major impacts, it's all about the interstates. I-90, most of that shut down from Chamberlain way to the east, all the way to the Wyoming line because of snow and wind and ice. But with more wind and snow tomorrow, it remains to be seen how long before they can get the interstate reopened. Right now, there are so many truckers pulled over in Chamberlain. The DOT has told other truckers to pull over farther east in Watertown or Sioux Falls, South Dakota. In the meantime, winter takes a grip here and across most of the United States before we get to Christmas. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel in the blizzard warning here in Sturgis, South Dakota.
Thanks, Mike. That blizzard warning does continue, and here are several states right now under blizzard warning and winter storm warnings as well. Back to that severe weather threat after this.
Campbell's. Good.
Meet Leon the Third, Leon the Second, and Leon the First of them all. 3 generations who all bank differently with Chase. Leon's saving up for his first set of wheels. Nice try.
Really?
This Leon's paying for his paint job on the spot. And this Leon, as a Chase private client, he's in the south of France taking out cash with no ATM fees. That's because this family of Leons has Chase.
Actually, it's Leon.
Ooh la la. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
When you're through with powering through, it's time for Theraflu, hot liquid medicine. Powerful relief so you can restore and recover. Theraflu, hot beats cold.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
It's more than breakfast. It's an adventure. Collect all 3 glow-in-the-dark tattoos for your whole clan in specially marked Kellogg's cereal boxes. And see Avatar: The Way of Water only in theaters December 16th. This film is not yet rated.
Hey. Jake from State Farm.
We have to know.
Yeah, these are State Farm pajamas. No, what if we have to talk to somebody about our policy, but it's late at night? Call us 24/7.
Great. Because what if someone still calls his mom for everything?
We'll walk you through everything. At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs.
Oh, yeah, Mom, everything's great. Yeah. I mean, not my mom.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Look at that preacher.
Hey, let me help you.
Thanks, Tony. Doing his stuff. You better dig in.
You're the greatest mom in the world.
Tower cam for hey. Folks, we seem to have a visitor. It looks like
you paid too much for your glasses.
Oh.
Anyone who isn't shopping at America's Best, where 2 pairs and a free exam start at just $79.95. Book an exam today.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Stop. You're in.
Oh, cool. Yep, even easier than that. What's in your wallet?
Welcome home. I wasn't expecting this.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
A bend with a bump in your erection might be painful, embarrassing, difficult to talk about, and could be Peyronie's disease or PD, a real medical condition that urologists can diagnose and have been treating for more than 8 years with Xiaflex, the only FDA-approved non-surgical treatment for appropriate men with PD. Along with daily gentle penile stretching and straightening exercises, Xiaflex has been proven to help gradually reduce the bend. Don't receive if the treatment area involves your urethra or if you're allergic to any of the ingredients. May cause serious side effects, including penile fracture or other serious injury during an erection, and severe allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Seek help if you have any of these symptoms. Do not have any sexual activity during and for at least 4 weeks after each treatment cycle. Sudden back pain reactions and fainting can happen after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have a bleeding condition or take blood thinners, as risk of bleeding or bruising at the treatment site is increased. Join the tens of thousands of men who've been prescribed Xiaflex. Make an appointment with a Xiaflex-trained urologist. Visit bentcarrot.com to find one today.
Currently in our area, 34 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, generally clear. Low, 29. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine. High, 39. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low, 32. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, here's new video of one of the tornadoes that we've seen today. This one in Beckville in Texas, and it's difficult to see exactly where it is, but a lot of times when you've got an environment where it's very humid, you can have a lot of rain that is wrapping around the tornado. We actually call that a rain-wrapped tornado. Makes it a lot more difficult to spot visually, and so you just have to rely on what you can see on the radar in that case, and you have to kind of take the forecaster's word for it. You can't always get eyes on a tornado, unfortunately, and that's a kind of a prime example of that right there. We've been watching a lot of tornado warnings tonight across parts of the deep south, the mid-south in particular. Still several ongoing tornado warnings in Louisiana as well as into Mississippi. Let's get right into some of these warnings. One of those is now near Alexandria in central parts of Louisiana. Rapides Parish under warning until 11:30, and so we're seeing a circulation just north of 28 and moving to the northeast. Now we'll see if they decide to extend the warning. If they do, that looks like it's going to be coming up into more rural areas going towards Route 84 there. Now up into Mississippi, Issaquena, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties under warning until 12:15. We've got an observed tag on this tornado warning, and so this is a confirmed tornado, I assume. Law enforcement confirmed tornado here. So we've got an ongoing tornado, and that is right there. So it's just now crossing the Mississippi River and moving northeast rapidly, about ready to cross Route 61. That'll be moving into Kelso in just the next few minutes here, about 6-7 minutes. It'll be coming into Kelso, moving into Campbellville at 11:46, Bayland at 11:52, and Craig at 11:57. So heads up. We've got, again, a law enforcement reported tornado in this case. I'm not seeing any debris right now, but we did get a report of a tornado, and that is coming towards 61 as it moves northeast. Another tornado warning farther north, Humphreys and Sharkey counties under warning until midnight tonight. Here, too, seeing a pretty prominent area of circulation that is moving towards 49 in Belzoni. As that moves to the northeast, that'll move into the Murphy area, into Gooden Lake, as well as Belzoni, Deo Valente, and Famosla, as that continues rapidly off to the northeast. And then also a flash flood warning to tell you about Morehouse and West Carroll parishes, Ashley, Chico, and Washington counties. And tornado watches actually going for quite some time into the overnight tonight, 4 o'clock in the morning. And, the threat may continue beyond that. We could easily be looking at tornado warnings in the morning that are a little farther to the east, but at least until 4 o'clock, you've got this tornado watch watch up in Lake Charles, Alexandria, up into Monroe, and then farther east, another tornado watch going until 2 o'clock in the morning. So we do expect this threat is going to continue for some time yet. Chris, over to you.
And that sometime, Carl, will continue into tomorrow as well, and throughout a big portion of the day, and still including the possibility there will be tornadoes again tomorrow. It started early today, could again start early tomorrow, or we should say continue into tomorrow and last through the day. Here's the forecast for tomorrow, Wednesday. Torcon of 5, big area with a 5 here. That's getting up there on the scale. The max threat goes up to 10, so you're halfway up there. The bigger the number, the bigger the threat. But even with a 2 or a 3, it's still possible there could be a tornado. So it's a possibility. It's not a 0 chance. So there is the chance you could see a tornado. And these storms showing to be pretty strong initially, even before the sun comes up in Louisiana and Mississippi. And then around and after sunrise, storms still going and popping into the midday, afternoon, and then eventually into the evening hours still across southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, Gulfport, then over to Mobile, Alabama by early evening. And here's now 7 o'clock. Storms still crushing a lot of Alabama with some heavy rain here. Can't rule out the chance there could be some flash flooding throughout parts of the south. Plenty of moisture in place and plenty of storms that could last quite a while, quite a long time. And as you watch it go through, by midnight tomorrow night, not as much of that dark red, but still some. So we could still see some pretty hefty storms across parts of Alabama, Florida, and portions of Georgia. I mentioned the heavy rain and the flood threat through Thursday morning. So tomorrow through Thursday morning, all the way up to Kentucky. The type of rain we see, the downpours that may last a little bit longer, could be at least some serious ponding on the roadways and also possibly some flash flooding as well. And then on Thursday, the possibility that thunderstorms that are developing could turn severe is there in Florida, parts of Georgia, and the Carolinas. Here's a closer look at the timing for that as they go through during the day here across the peninsula in Florida on Thursday.
People love Subaru just because it stands for much more than just a car.
Through the Share the Love event, Subaru retailers have supported over 1,700 hometown charities.
Have I witnessed and seen the impact of what we do? You bet I have.
We have worked with so many amazing causes and made a difference.
By the end of this year, Subaru and our retailers will have donated over $250 million to charity.
It's about more than just selling cars. The Subaru Share the Love event, going on now.
Chevy Silverado factory lifted trucks. Where will they take you? Silverado ZR2, Trail Boss, and Custom Trail Boss. Because adventure is everywhere.
Kids with autism sometimes are overlooked. It makes us feel important that she sees them. Miss Joanne always has the brightest smile. She makes them feel at home.
I ask them, what is it that you need today, Joseph? We're friends, and I love him.
She talks to him directly, just making sure he's heard. It makes his day a lot easier.
If I could make him smile every day, I will.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Try Downy Light In-Wash Freshness Boosters. It has long-lasting light scent, no heavy perfumes, and no dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. Downy Light.
Today, my friend, you did it! You did it! You did it!
Good news! A new clinical study showed that Centrum Silver supports cognitive health in older adults. It's one more step towards taking charge of your health. So every day, you can say, it's Centrum Silver.
It's Macy's Gifts You'll Love to Gift sale now with an extra 20% off gifts for all at every price. Plus, everyone gets $10 Macy's money for every $50 spent at Macy's.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Curiosity pushes you forward. It's what inspired Meiomi to create an unrivaled wine using the best from California to push flavor in new directions for a taste like no other. Meiomi, flavor forward.
I can't. My toes. How much further?
Turns out, it is hard walking a mile in someone else's shoes.
And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. I can't. I gotta go. But it's straight back.
No.
For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, make the right call and go with the General.
For real?
I just need new laces.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
Right now, this is some new video into the Weather Channel showing the stormy skies. This right here from Storm Tracker Charles Peak earlier today near Four Forks, Louisiana here. And we're seeing what appears to be, it's hard to say, some lowering of the clouds here. And as we look, you see the dark skies off in the distance. And we saw some other video earlier today showing a pretty obvious tornado. This may have been a little bit before or a little bit after or a different part of the area that we were looking at earlier here as we see maybe a little bit of rotation. So this could be the beginning. If you look at the appendages here off to just above the out and the outbreak, and the GOI in the going, there was appeared to be like two appendages hanging down. You might see this again where there's some low-hanging clouds right above the word ongoing there, and then off to the right above the word the. Somewhere in there, it looks like there might be some circulation. And just knowing what some of the other video looked like, it wouldn't surprise me if this ultimately and eventually ended up being some tornado video that we were looking at earlier or associated with the same area of some the tornado video we're looking at a little bit earlier. We are live until 12 o'clock midnight Central Time, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern, covering the ongoing tornado threat associated with a major winter storm. And so with the severe threat, the possibility for tornadoes, also blizzard warnings currently in effect, conditions expected to be really tough, if not impossible, for travel across parts of the plains. Dealing with some dangerous weather tonight in the form of severe weather, and storm specialist Carl Parker has been all over it this evening, looking at some of the most dangerous storms we've seen. And unfortunately, seeing video of tornadoes, Carl, seeing damage of tornadoes, and the radar quite often has been consistent in showing debris signatures. So an atmosphere that's ready to spin and has been.
Yeah, and we haven't had a break. I mean, we've been on for 3.5 hours. We haven't had one moment where there wasn't an active tornado warning, and that is testament to just how active this night is and how strong this parent storm is. So let's take a look at a couple of warnings right now into western Mississippi. Very serious warning. We had a law enforcement reported tornado, confirmed large and dangerous tornado, Issaquena, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties, and this is moving towards the northeast now at 40 miles per hour. So we're getting some, what we call aliasing in there. It kind of goofs up the data a little bit, but there is definitely a very strong circulation in there, and that is moving northeast. That's coming into Kelso right now, so you need to get to your safe place immediately in Kelso, then into Kearney at 11:46, Campbellville at 11:51, Balen Island at 11:57. And this is generally headed in the vicinity of Yazoo City. We know there's been a lot of tornado history there in Yazoo City. So just keep a really close eye on this. Again, a law enforcement reported tornado, confirmed tornado here moving across parts of western Mississippi. Then another tornado warning to the north of that is Humphreys and Sharkey counties under warning until midnight tonight. Here too, a pretty robust circulation that is coming towards 49, and that is going to be moving into the Belzoni area and surrounding areas. So that'll be coming towards Belzoni around 11:46, Gooden Lake before that at 11:37, and then Dio Valenti at 11:50. So certainly some dangerous storms on the radar tonight. Very strong parent storm is driving all this, and also a lot of low-level wind shear winds coming out of different directions in the lowest levels of the atmosphere, Chris, and that's why we expect that this threat is going to be continuing right through the night tonight, even into tomorrow morning.
All right, Carl, so we want to get back to how things are expected to shake up or shake out and play out during the day tomorrow. So we'll take a closer look now at the timing and the system, the southern end of the parent system that Carl was just showing us, showing the storms going as early as first thing in the morning. In fact, really just continuing during the overnight hours. Lake Charles over to Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans around lunchtime. You could have some storms, and then more storms lingering or lasting on and off throughout the afternoon into the early evening hours in South Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. Here's Florida now in play into the nighttime hours tomorrow. Of course, we'll be tracking it for you here on the Weather Channel. And again, this does include a tornado threat, a Torcon of 5 again for parts of the South.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen, girl.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
It's nice to unwind after a long week of telling people how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. He's a natural. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the You Are My Diamond sale. Get 30% off everything. Give the gift of shine at Zales, the diamond store.
Get $400 when you pair your Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread with accessories, like cycling shoes, dumbbells, and more. It's Peloton's gift to you. Visit onepeloton.com. Terms apply.
Oh, hey, it's a Donovan's. You know, legend has it, the Donovans had a barbecue that fed half a town.
You know what I heard? They drove cross country just to walk their dog.
Apparently, they climbed a mountain to save some wild horses. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Toyota, let's go places.
95% of Uber Eats orders are on time. But occasionally, something unpredictable happens. And if your Eats ever gets stuck,
hello!
We'll make it right with 3 months of $0 delivery fee.
Life is expensive. So why is Omar snoozing like a baby? Because he made the smart choice to shop with IKEA. With new benefits for IKEA family members, including 5% off all eligible purchases in store. Every visit, every day. IKEA.
Dude, you coming?
Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop is Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and flu relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast cough relief.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Moderate to severe eczema. It doesn't care if you have a date, a day off, or a double shift. Make your move and get out in front of eczema with steroid-free Sabinco. Not an injection. Sabinco is a once-daily pill for adults who didn't respond to previous treatments, and it's proven to help provide clearer skin and relieve itch fast. Sabinco continuously treats eczema whether you're flaring or not.
Sabinco can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Do not take with medicines that prevent blood clots. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, lung, skin, and other cancers, serious heart-related events, and blood clots can happen. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of serious heart-related events or death with JAK inhibitors.
It's time to get out in front of eczema. Ask your doctor about once daily Sabinco.
Welcome back to our ongoing coverage of severe weather. We are following very dangerous storms tonight, tornadoes, and we've had reported tornadoes, damage as well in Louisiana. Right now, a couple of tornado warnings in parts of Mississippi, and this is western Mississippi, Issaquena, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties under warning until midnight. Observed tornado here. Law enforcement reported tornado. There is a considerable threat tag here. We're watching that circulation right in here. I know it looks a little strange. Sometimes that happens with radars. And let's get a good sense of the vector and where exactly that's going. Now, that's interesting because that appears to be taking a little bit of a left turn relative to where it was going before. Maybe a little more to the north-northeast as opposed to the east-northeast, at least in those last couple of scans there. I'm also going to look and see if there's any evidence of debris. There is debris that is showing up. Now, this is a very rural area where this is right now. So that right there is the Mississippi River. And then all this terrain between the Mississippi and 149 is basically a wildlife refuge. That's the Panther Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. So almost certainly that debris that is showing up on the radar right there is tree debris. That's within that wildlife refuge. So this is almost certainly a tornado that is ongoing in an extremely rural area right now. But the big question is, where is it going to be going and who might it affect down the road? Now, if it does continue to move in that direction, and once again, I'm going to go back to the velocity data so we can see what's happened here just in the last few minutes. Now, that's really interesting because if we kind of track that out, so we start right there, and then we'll go to the next frame and see where it is right there. And then we'll go to the next frame. So you're getting a sense here that it's made a little bit of perhaps a very slight left turn. It was moving, more straight northeast, and now maybe just a little north of that. So with that in mind, I'm going to draw this track like that. That would take it towards Kearney and Campbellville and Bayland and also Louise. So in all of those areas, you've got, again, a law enforcement reported tornado, a confirmed tornado that is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. We are now seeing a debris signature. It is for now in a wildlife refuge, but it is eventually going to make its way towards some towns here. And so heads up if you're in any of those areas. This is the really highly populated area that is nearest that tornado. That's Yazoo City, and they've had a lot of history with tornadoes there in Yazoo City. And so we'll be watching the development of this very closely as it gets closer to those more populated areas. Humphreys County also under warning. That includes Belzoni. So, here what we're looking at is a broad circulation. It's not as tight as it was initially, but just to be safe, let's go ahead and track that out. That's going to come into Belzoni at about 11:49 and then move into Nichols at around midnight tonight. Also want to tell you about what's going on with the watches because it looks like we got a brand new watch from the Storm Prediction Center. And so there's the current watch in southern Louisiana. That is until 4 o'clock in the morning. Then farther north, we've got another one to 4 o'clock in the morning. Here, we've got one until 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'll tell you what, we're seeing it on our reporting system, but it's not showing up graphically as of yet. But I assume what we're looking at is an eastward extension, and that is going until 6 o'clock in the morning. So the upshot here is that this threat for severe weather is going to continue for quite some time tonight, and then even into tomorrow morning and through the day tomorrow. And in fact, let's talk to Chris about that threat and how it's going to evolve going into tomorrow.
Yeah, Carl, and unfortunately, we are seeing a similar setup once again. A lot of moisture coming in, maybe not as big of an area, but still the potential for some of the strong storms are going to be there. And you see right now with some of the video we're seeing here for the first time since Carl and I have been with you, a plane flipped over in one location here. Again, we were watching these storms in Texas, Louisiana, into Arkansas and Mississippi, where there are currently storms right now with multiple threats. Wind, of course, one of the big threats, and the wind can come in a couple of different forms here. First, you can have severe thunderstorms that can bring some very strong winds, and then tornadoes, of course, bring the violent winds. And then this right here, some video showing that rising and twisting air, which looks like maybe the beginning of a tornado, certainly has that appearance. Again, getting some new video here into the Weather Channel. Looks like the little piece of debris. I don't know if you saw that off to the left, right there, off to the left, falling down. Again, watching for the potential of more dangerous weather right now into the overnight and tomorrow as well. Currently, a big line of storms going all the way up to Tennessee, starting in Texas. And what you see here, flash flood warning here, big areas, and then severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings as well. The severe weather is ongoing right now. Seeing some reports of tornadoes, this one observed here right along the Louisiana-Mississippi border, and it looks like there's kind of progression from this one. So tornadoes reported with the storms that we're currently tracking and tracking earlier. Multiple mobile homes destroyed in north central Louisiana. A couple reports here, another one indicating power lines were down. And then as these storms were going from Texas into Louisiana, getting word that the large outbuilding was damaged, and also again getting reports, several reports of damage from Texas into Louisiana. Stay with us here on the Weather Channel.
This holiday season, give your family the gift that keeps on going.
Our very own Energizer Bunny.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. The #1 longest lasting AA battery.
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even walking was tough.
I had to do something. I started Cosentix.
Cosentix can help you move, look, and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
If Philly Garcia listened to those who rejected him, he never would have made a name for himself, lining up some of the biggest names in pro sports. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
For COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri. Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri. With Butcher.
Hey man, are you Alpocalypse 423?
Yeah.
What's the deal? You got me running all over the place, day and night.
Oh, I have Spectrum now. Fastest Wi-Fi speeds around.
Oh, that's cool. How about we just pump the brakes though, now and again? This thing's like 2,000 pounds. You want to hold it?
Yes, I do.
Well, you can't, because it'll rip your arms right out of your body. And then how are you going to play your game?
I'm sorry, it's just really, really fast.
What if I just split your house in half with my Warhammer?
It still works out here, so it's pointless.
Spectrum One delivers the fastest Wi-Fi speeds in the nation. That's game-changing speed. That's Spectrum One.
Pricking your fingers stinks. I really hated it. With Dexcom G6, I don't have to prick my fingers anymore. This little wearable, Sends my glucose number straight to my phone.
You can see your number and where it's heading. It's so much easier to make adjustments, and I can get alerts before I go too high or too low.
The first time I saw my glucose on my phone, I cried.
Yeah, it's life-changing. It really is life-changing.
The Dexcom G6 has helped me lower my A1C.
Now I feel like I got this.
I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Currently in our area, 34 degrees under clear skies. Overnight, generally clear. Low, 29. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine. High, 39. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low, 32. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our coverage of severe storms. We are watching very dangerous storms right now in western Mississippi. Let's give you the latest. And there is a warning that is in effect here into Sharkey and Yazoo counties until 12:15. Now, the considerable threat tag, the observed tag, both of those have been dropped from this storm for the time being. However, we are still seeing a circulation here. It's been really interesting to watch. There are actually a couple of areas of circulation. There's one off to the northwest of that main one. It looked like initially the storm was starting to deviate a little bit more towards the north-northeast, but now this area is kind of reformed, and so it does appear to be solidly on track to move towards the northeast, and that's coming towards Kearney and Campbellville. Now, I was looking at this on Google Maps. This is in a wildlife refuge right now. There's really not much here, but as it gets closer and closer to that 49 corridor, that's where we start to see more people. And then you've got Yazoo City sitting right in there. Now, at this time, the trajectory appears to be more to the north of Yazoo City. So just want you to be aware of that. We're going to be following this very closely. And again, there was a reported tornado with the storm. We did see a debris signature with this storm. It's been passing through a wildlife refuge in the vicinity of the Mississippi River. But as it moves farther and farther north, it's going to get closer to more populated areas. And so we definitely want to keep a close eye on this and see what the character and the nature of the storm is going to be as we get closer. Then to the north of that, Humphreys County under warning right now, and that includes Belzoni. Still seeing a broad but strong circulation there that is now coming into that 49 corridor. And so let's just track that out to see where that might be headed. That's going to pass near Belzoni or right over it. Then coming towards Famosla and Nichols and Montgomery beyond that. We'll see how that evolves over time here. And looking at the larger picture, great big strong storm now moving across the central part of the country, and the southern end of that is where we've got some very strong winds in the atmosphere helping to fuel that severe weather threat. And so as we look at a model forecast going forward, we are likely going to continue to see stronger storms in parts of Louisiana and Mississippi going through the overnight tonight. That's why it's really, really important for you to have a way to be notified tonight. You know, in most cases, that just means taking your phone and putting it on your bedside table and making sure that you don't put it on airplane mode because, you know, in almost all cases, if you get a tornado warning, your phone is going to alarm. You want to make sure the ringer is on, of course, and again, that it's not in airplane mode. But it's one of those nights when you need to make sure that you have a way to be notified. When we look at the instability, that's the fuel for storms, the warm and humid air. There's plenty of that in southern Mississippi and Louisiana, more than enough to keep storms going. There's plenty of wind shear in the atmosphere. That also is not going anywhere. So, when you look at the character of these storms, you see how there are a lot of individual storms that sort of have this appearance like a kidney bean. That's the model telling us, yeah, it may not be exactly like this, but this is an area where storms like that could and should form. And so just be aware of that from Jackson down through southern Mississippi into southeastern Louisiana as well. Even into tomorrow morning, we may see some additional development in those areas. The whole area is not going to move that much. And so it's going to be repeated rounds of storms in Louisiana and Mississippi, and they're going to drop off in intensity farther northward where we don't see as much instability. Chris, over to you.
This is Cheyenne, Wyoming from earlier, and this is blowing snow. Strong winds have seen an ongoing blizzard throughout the day here. Tightly wound and very large system helping to produce some very strong winds, dangerous travel conditions, in some cases a no-go for travel, with snow still falling in the western portion of South and North Dakota. In fact, North Dakota also seeing quite a bit of snow in the northern side of the state as well. Show you some conditions right now as we take a look, a live look at Sheridan, Wyoming, where evidence of recent snow is all over the place. The blowing snow gets under the overhangs, goes right up against the side of the buildings, and of course, the lights remind us the season that it is here. So still early in the winter weather months, and here we go with this winter storm that, again, as you've been watching with us tonight, has a severe side to it. This is the winter side. The center of the low somewhere in here. We know that the air spins counterclockwise around an area of low pressure, so that's how you can identify it on the radar. This is how you can identify some of the worst and the dangerous travel conditions here. Blizzard warnings posted also over here around Duluth. Blizzard warnings, so blizzard conditions expected and a lot more snow expected as well, with even some of these purple areas could see an additional, on top of what's on the ground, an additional foot of snow as well. Here, maybe 2 to 3 feet of snow. Again, that tightly wound system will continue to bring winds in some cases at 50 to 60 miles an hour during the overnight hours tonight. Here's tomorrow around noon, 40 to 50 still possible in Rapid City. And this system is moving pretty slow across the Midwest. So this is going to be a long-lasting, windy and snowy at times event.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day that's effective without topical steroids. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. Plus, they felt fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupts the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Dancing is everything. Soccer is the best.
But her moderate to severe eczema could make it hard for her.
Now I'm staying ahead of it.
Dupixent helps heal your skin from within so they can have clearer skin and less itch. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
At Walmart, save on thousands of gifts for everyone on your list. The savings are here all month long. Plus, get delivery on your gifts in as fast as 1 hour, right up to Christmas Eve. Shop Walmart online or in-store today.
Got the rings?
Hello? You guys don't look half bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites and hot wings have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
Vision insurance doesn't do you any good if you don't use it. Just like this treadmill I bought that I keep saying I'll use, but never do. Yeah. With hundreds of frames to choose from, you can put your vision insurance to good use at America's Best. Book an exam today.
Extra hard studying calls for something extra. So you serve up new DiGiorno fully stuffed crust pizza. Because pizza with an extra layer of cheese stuffed edge to edge throughout the entire crust always hits the spot. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Welcome back. We are still following some really scary storms tonight in parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. I want to show you the latest tornado warning that has just been issued along the Mississippi River. That is East Carroll, Madison parishes, Issaquena, Sharkey, and Warren counties under warning until 1 a.m. There's the circulation right there, getting ready to cross Route 65 as it moves northeast. On that track coming into Anoka, into Roosevelt right now, then Fittler by 12:16 and Blanton by 12:22. Then farther northeast, another warning here. And this is a storm that's been rotating for a long time. Sharkey and Yazoo counties under warning. And we are seeing a really strong rotation that is over Holly Springs right now. It's been moving through the Delta National Forest and now coming into some more populated areas, now moving northeast. Now it looks like it's going to be passing to the northwest of Yazoo City, but coming into Campbellville, also moving into Anchorage and moving into Carter as well. So if you're in any of those areas or near any of those areas, please get to your safe place right now. We could be looking at a strong tornado coming in. Again, we're seeing a very strong signature in the velocity data and a little bit of noise there as well. But let's take a look and see if there's any debris showing up. And we did, by the way, see some debris in this not very long ago. Not seeing that now, but that is a strong storm that is generally headed towards that 49 corridor. We're going to have much more on this coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us for that.